So when I see bales of hay, I always say, hey! And I made Robin
And then I'm like,
look.
what? And I'm like, ugh. Roll my eyes.
Yeah, that's the kind of tomfoolery and hijinks we do when we're driving in the countryside. Hello there. It is Friday. It's March. I didn't even change the calendar, Robin. Oh, excuse me, folks.
Horror.
Excuse me while I whip this out. Let me put this up here now. Get it up there. All right. It is March 1st already. Wow. Do you realize that not this Saturday night, tomorrow, actually won't, yeah, it's next Saturday the 10th, okay? Because next Saturday is actually the 9th. So tomorrow Saturday first Saturday is March 2nd.
Correct.
The following Saturday is March 9th.
Correct.
That Saturday night of the 9th, when you go to bed, don't forget to change your clocks, change your underwear.
Bring them forward.
That's right, because then we will start getting another hour of daylight as the world finally starts awakening from winter time and all the problems that happen in winter. The cold, the snow. Although there's still snow falling, the one good story about snow is Amarillo, Texas, where they had those massive fires earlier this week. There was fresh snow falling on them, so that helped the firefighters and the people there control that situation. So anyway, that's how we start. We got a lot of stuff talking about it. It's Friday, March 1st. I wouldn't call it March Madness yet. I'd call it March Mildness. As we go into another weekend with a lot of sports stuff going on. You got NBA, NHL. We've got food talk today. We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. A lot of things. And we have 3 hours to do it. So thanks for joining us. You know how to contact the show, right? If you're watching us on any of the video streaming apps, you know you can download the actual Tony Bruno Sports Network app on any application. You can do it on the Tony Bruno. You can do it on Apple. You can do it on Google Play. And all you have to do is put Tony Bruno Sports Network. Bam, the app comes up. Download the app, and boom, you're in. And you can listen anywhere on earth, as people are finding out all over the world. So if you're watching us and you found us through a video stream, just remember, you can also listen to us if you don't have a computer nearby or not listening and watching on a video stream. You follow me right now? And we welcome everybody, watching, listening, whatever. You know what I mean? I think I've said that a couple times now. But anyway, Robin, what are you doing hanging over me here? What are you doing? She's hanging.
You can see comments.
Okay. I got to fix my thing here. Hold on a second.
You can see everything.
I know what's going on. I can see the comments okay, yes. So if you'd like to comment, you can go on Facebook, on my Facebook page. I mean, there's pretty much nowhere where you can't get this show, or anywhere where you can't get the show. Finland, Hawaii, Germany.
Ooh, let's see if
see if our Finnish friends are on there, or whether they're finished with the show. I mean, and the phone number to call or text is 352-234-8669. 352-864. 352-234-8669. The 234 and the 8669 are the easy part.
Screwed you up.
The 352, because I never had a hose in that area code. I had them in every area code except 352. Is that designated to one particular city, Robin? Do you know? Miss Robin is here.
I don't know. Our Finnish and our German listeners are back.
I want to thank them in particular.
I want to know who they are. You need to reach out to us. Let us know, because we love Finland. We love Germany. I've been to both locations.
Yep.
Lived in one of them. And maybe it's like an old elementary school friend of mine.
From back in Germany?
It's the Germans. Let's see. Is Hawaii tuned in?
We'll check
yes,
it.
Hawaii.
See, now people want to know how you know now, because one of the questions about doing digital radio is, do you know where people are listening, where they're watching from? And before, back in the day, when there were radio stations that wanted to find out who was listening and how many, they would give out actual diaries. They would send Arbitron diaries or Pulse back in the day and send those diaries to individual households in different cities.
And they pay you $5.
They would pay you $5 for a month to sit there every day like you're doing Dear Diary and write down which television show, or this was primarily radio at the time, and television had its own and had they did the same thing. They would ask people. Then they put meters on the TVs to determine how many people. Now, remember, 1 meter represents like thousands and thousands of people.
Yes.
And so that's the
Just to give
the
you
information they would extrapolate down into representing you, one person who's watching this show in the radio world, would extrapolate to 50,000 people in one city listening.
So now
and that's nonsense.
When the electronic version came out, they obviously did, they used to hand out thousands of the paper diaries.
Yes.
When the electronic versions came out,
they
initially started in Philadelphia with only 200 machines.
But that's just Philadelphia. Every city, major city has the machines now.
When you think about what 200 machines, those little machines, it represented how many millions of people are in Philly?
I don't know, 3, 4, 5 million people.
That's how many people. Now it ended up going up to, I believe, 1,000. Right now they currently, if I'm not mistaken, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but the last time I checked, there were 1,000 machines to represent the entire Delaware Valley.
Right, and that's the system they have because they can't go to door, and that's why they have to come up with a system. And it's not, and all systems right now don't work. I mean, they work, but they don't really represent how many. It's even like voting in elections. People vote by mail, they vote in person. They can vote absentee, and so these systems all aren't 100% accurate.
No.
And that's the bottom line. But the thing about now with digital media, because we can track, now we don't know your address, we're not coming to your house. If you download the apps, there's no personal information required. Nobody asks you how old you are, what race you are, where you live. We can see, basically cities, states, countries, right?
Yeah, so on this particular app that I'm on, I can see that there are people tuned in Finland and in Germany. Mm-hmm. And then I can see that people are all over the United States. I can see a couple people in Hawaii.
Aloha.
We do not currently have anybody in Asia. Clearly.
What about Indonesia out there in the Coral City? The Coral City.
No, and we do not have any Filipinos
What's
right
the
now.
Filipino?
Or anybody down under in Australia.
Salamat po.
Although, to be fair, it is like 3 a.m. right now.
I know. Well, it's also late night in Germany, too, right? It's like 11 o'clock at night.
3 plus 8, 9. So it's
11 o'clock, Robin.
It's 11 o'clock at night.
You're the one who always says, my math sucks. I was able to deduce that if it's 3 o'clock here in the Eastern time zone of the United States.
I'm very proud of you.
And you add 8 hours, 8, 9, 10, 11. I mean, it's simple math. And that's why I have 10 fingers, because everything can be deduced by finger. And then when there are not enough fingers, then I just use my toes. And since it's beautiful, the weather down here, and I have my flip-flops on today, I can still now also use my toes to continue to count. And yes,
that's how come you did so well in math today.
Exactly right.
Because you were able to use both your fingers and your toes. I'm very
No, I haven't
had
to go beyond 10 yet. But we're just getting started here, Robin. We got a lot of stuff to talk about today.
Yes,
a lot of sports, obviously. It's primarily a sports show, but we're not just shackled into talking about sports, because the average person who's a sports fan has other things in life. They care about food. They care about what's going on in their neighborhoods. They care about, like, for example, here in Florida where we live. Florida has always been, before it used to be California, you go back 25, 30 years ago, all the wacky stuff, right, we would see.
Yeah.
It all started in California, right, and then it would move east. Now, Florida has become the epicenter of Florida Man and any kinds of stories where you're going to find people doing stupid crap. And by the way, people do stupid crap no matter where you live. But Florida, for some reason, because it's very profitable to have Florida Man websites, sell Florida T-shirts. You know, when people come down here, what do they buy in trinket stores? Oh, they have the Florida snowman. Remember that one? It's like a little glass thing. and it's a Florida snowman, which means all the parts of the snowman are melted and they're on the sand.
So it would have like a little top hat, a carrot nose, 2 pieces of coal for the eyes, and some buttons just floating around in the water.
Exactly, because the snowman melts here. Now, there's different snowmen down here, but we don't talk about those because you have to live in Florida and understand and be an actual licensed person to live here. And we are fully licensed, fully accredited here in the great state of Florida. We'll have a great Florida update today, whether you like it or not. I mean, it's what happened, and it involves the University of Florida Gators, Robin. Did you see this story today?
I did not.
It's a breaking news. In fact, let's get to the breaking news story right away. Now, this doesn't affect the entire country, but Florida and, Governor Ron DeSantis, who won a landslide election just last November, decided to run for president, and then obviously realized after the first couple of primaries or caucuses, that trying to stay in a race and raising more money was just foolish. So he dropped out, and he's been back in Florida and still the governor and still doing things on behalf of the people from Florida. And most of the people in Florida love the guy because, he listens to the people. And that's what you want no matter where you live. You want your elected officials who basically use your tax dollars to make decisions that affect not just you, but everybody who lives in your city or particular state or in your country. Everybody knows that, and that's why most people complain, and that's what I complain about. I complain about the people whose salaries I help pay, not doing jobs, and not just for me. I mean, I got people not doing jobs for me, and I live and pay taxes in Cape Coral when it comes to my permit for my house that's been waiting for 3 years. Do you see me storming the city of Cape Coral offices?
It's tempting, though.
Not yet. But before long, I may have to go down there with a bunch of protesters and scream at the top of my lungs. I'm as mad as hell, and I want this damn permit now so I can start building a house before I die. Is that too much to ask from your friendly neighborhood Tony Bruno show? So anyway, the Governor Ron DeSantis, one of the things he said, and whether you like this or not, whether you're woke or not woke or DEI, but obviously diversity, equity, and inclusion is a big thing now in the world. But here in Florida today, and this is a breaking story in Florida, so let's go to our Florida update desk right out of the gate, Robin. Can you turn my... Oh, I got it. Oh, welcome you. I got to get this.
Can you just sing it for us, Tony?
Yeah, No, I can't sing, Robin.
I think everybody would agree with that. By the way, while we're waiting for Tony to fix his sound, make sure that you like, subscribe,
you mean
follow.
No, you mean like really like it, not like it?
Yeah, but click on it. Whatever you're watching on, whether it's audio or video, make sure that you either like, subscribe, follow, and or share so that everybody knows where to find the Tony Bruno Show. And TBSN and all the fantastic other shows that we have. Starting at 7 a.m. every morning, we have Pete Sheppard from 7 to 10. The Defo Show will be back. We are just, he had some health issues, and we are trying to match him up with a partner so that he can come back on the air because we miss him tremendously. He is fantastic.
It's not coming through my U.S. audio codec, Robin. It's playing, but it's not coming through there.
Try it again.
I did it. It's playing.
Is it?
Yes.
Well,
did you have the button on? Okay, I don't know why it didn't play, but I did change it to the correct.
It just took a second.
Okay. So let's welcome you to the Sunshine State. And again, this story doesn't affect everybody, but when you're residents of a state and a big story comes down, and it involves the University of Florida. Now, there's a lot of universities here, but Florida is the Florida Gators, right?
Yes.
We talk a lot about Gators here on this show because, when people think of Florida, unlike the Netherlands, where people think of the Netherlands, they think of weed. Now they think about weed everywhere now because it's pretty much legal everywhere.
They think of weed.
Weed, red light districts.
Amsterdam.
And windmills and tulips.
That's Netherlands.
Yeah, but there's still windmills
I'm trying to
and
make
tulips.
the differentiation.
Anyway, so when you think about Florida, you think about alligators, right? And you think about rednecks.
Yes.
But there's some non-rednecks here also. And not that there's anything wrong with rednecks. And I know some rednecks and they're good people. Just because you call some, like when I call people greaseballs, that doesn't mean they're all bad human beings. Some of my best friends are greaseballs. Some of my best friends are rednecks. Some of my best friends are billionaires and some of my other best friends are just average, everyday people, and that's the majority of my friends. Because I don't hang with billionaires. Sometimes I hang with multi-millionaires when I'm looking for a little extra cash, and I don't have a structured settlement, and I need cash now, and I don't have an account with J.G. Wentworth, 877 cash now. So in Florida today, Robin, I know you're saying, Tony, will you get to the damn story?
We're waiting. We're waiting.
Well, we're waiting. Remember where that line was from, Robin?
Yes, the golf.
Well, we're waiting. That was, of course, Judge Smales in the golf movie, where they're on the golf course. What was that called?
I can picture it. I'm having a brain fart.
I'm not dressed as Andy Reid today, no. Trust me, this is only a large. Andy Reid would need a quadruple, and I love Andy Reid, but...
Caddyshack.
Thank you, Caddy. Everybody knows. Joe Quills. I mean, Joe Quills is our live fact checker.
Honestly, could Joe Quills please take over as producer for the show? Because he has great taste in music, and he knows everything. It would be so much better to have him be producing.
No, this is when we do stories in the afternoon, as we're on here 3 to 6 Eastern Time live, we don't do leftovers from yesterday. I mean, that's the difference between doing morning radio and afternoon radio. Morning radio, you know, people wake up and they want to know who won the games last night. I mean, if you don't know who won the games last night by this time, you really pretty much don't care who won the games last night. We'll preview games coming up tonight, some of the most exciting games from last night. You know, we'll play clips from it. And we've had some great finishes and unbelievable half-court shots, all that stuff. We bring it back up because people don't get to see the video or hear the audio of the greatest moments of the last 24 hours. But this is fresh. This is hot and fresh out the kitchen. Sort of like the remix of the Ignition. You know what I mean, Robin? So the University of Florida, a well-known, very well-known university here in the northern part of our great state, today announced that in relation to the situation that the governor, Ron DeSantis, because remember, let's play the cut of Ron DeSantis first. Because when he won re-election last November, after the hurricane that devastated a lot of our part of the state here in southwest Florida, he got up the day after. Yeah, he got up the day after and said this to the residents of Florida who re-elected him as governor.
We reject woke ideology. We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
Yes. Not just woke, but a lot of things come to die here, including people like me who get older, and then they come here, and that's where they want to die. I don't want to die here, but if I die,
that sounds a little
this
morbid.
Is where I want to be. You know what I mean?
If I'm going to die.
Let me die drunk, at least.
And in Florida. We need to add that. So on the old T-shirts, if we're going to die, let us die drunk at least, and in Florida.
And in Florida. But not during the summer. It's too hot. This time, and again, you can't pick when you're going to die. Nobody knows. And thankfully, we don't. But anyway, enough about that. So the governor, as he mentioned, he's against DEI and woke stuff. And a lot of companies have DEI offices where they pay people to not worry about, do we get the best qualified person? And listen, I'm in complete agreement with talking to any person who applies for a job, regardless of your weight, race, color, creed, the way it's supposed to be. You bring those people in, and then you make the determination based on the best qualified candidate. That's the way it always used to be. When I was getting jobs when I was young, I wasn't the best qualified candidate, so I didn't get the job. And I understood that. But now we live in a world where, things have to be changed, and I'm in favor of change. But the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Department at the University of Florida today announced that they are terminating their entire operation of the offices of DEI here at the University of Florida. And so you could say that's good or bad. Now, these people are going to get 12 weeks severance. And by the way, they can work in another department at the University of Florida because they get like $5 million a year just to sit there and determine which people they think should be in a new job based on the color of their skin as opposed to based on the best candidate for the job. And I think we need to give people of color better opportunities. I mean, if there's a person of color and a person that's non-white, whatever you want to call the race, and they both are equal, I have no problem with giving a chance to somebody who has the same qualifications. That's what it's about. But when you are forced now under some government edict that you have to hire people solely on the color of their skin more than on
dangerous.
That is dangerous. And anybody who thinks that's cool, and you're seeing it in our military. You're seeing what we're doing to our military.
Well, it's the same thing, and just real quick, since we're talking about universities, it's the same thing that goes to accepting students in a university. What they have found,
look what happened at Harvard. They had to be sued because they had so many Asian students that they thought, oh, wait, these Asian kids are smart. We have too many Asians up here. And they got sued at Harvard University, one of our most esteemed.
Because they stopped accepting based upon academia. They started accepting based upon non-Asian. So they were accepting other students that didn't have as good a grades. And here's the problem. What happened? There's been a whole study about it, and it's happened over and over and over again, that you get a student who maybe their grades are not as good, but you are going to force them and accept them into a college where everybody else that is there got in because their grades were good. What happens? The person who got in there because their grades weren't as good, they don't do as well.
I agree. And this isn't a political discussion. Go ahead, Rob. We already know this.
They feel like crap, and there is a 95% dropout rate for people that have been put into colleges because they weren't qualified.
Exactly. Most people know that, Robin. I mean, and we all want equality. But there's a certain group that wants equality is not enough. They want to be treated better now. And to me, that's not equality. Equality is treating everyone the same. That's how it works. So the Florida thing happens. And now, of course, I'm sure Governor DeSantis will be called all these names and everything else. So if you don't like your particular governor, vote them out and then have your governor do whatever they want to do. But guess what? Most people don't have the power to go up to their elected officials and, for example, the stuff going on around the world with the ceasefire. We got politicians saying ceasefire now. Like one politician saying a ceasefire now in Israel and Gaza. One more, and the next person that does it, oh yeah, they'll have a ceasefire. So there's nothing wrong with speaking up and saying stuff. But when politicians speak up and say stuff, that doesn't mean anything's going to get done because they're just one voice. And that's enough about that. So Florida, the University of Florida, dumping the DEI department today. Now, you want to be upset? Then go march on the University of Florida.
We have a text message from Dean.
What did Dean say?
He says, 2 days this week, Tony did math and was correct both times. Tony, go buy a Powerball ticket. Odds are better you hit that than get math questions right twice a week.
Now, how dare you, Dean? I deserve a roaring round of applause. Robin, can you turn my damn machine on again instead of turning it off? You turn that machine off one more time, Robin.
Tony?
One more time.
Tony. When I turn off your computer audio, it turns that off as well.
Well, my computer's not running any audio now. I will let you know when I'm going to run audio.
You asked me to turn the other one off.
I turned this one on, but then I'm not playing anything.
Oh, my God.
This is the one that I play most of my stuff on. Are you new to this? How long have you been doing this with me?
How many times have I tried to explain this to you, and you seem to not understand? I'm going to get angry.
I have to give myself a roaring round of applause. How would you like me to do that? Clap? Golf clap?
What you need to do is you need to tell me exactly what you just did. You say, Robin, turn it back on, please.
I said I'm going to give myself a roaring round of applause when Dean complimented me on my magnificent math proficiency this week on this show. And listen, when my math sucks, I will be the first to boo, get ripped, and have people humiliate me. But when I'm nailing difficult math quizzes after difficult math things, like adding up 8 and 3 and nailing it on my first crack at 11, I deserve a round of applause. That's all. Anyway, we're having fun. We got a lot of stuff. We got the Combine still going on. And what I love about the NFL Combine in Indianapolis is that as each year goes by, the student athletes who are eligible for the NFL draft, are going through all the running drills and then the throwing drills. But each year, you're finding more and more players, especially the big-time players, saying, you know what? Yeah, I got to show up because the scouts are there. But you know what? My leg hurts, so I'm not going to run for you. Or my arm hurts, and I'm not going to. And there are guys who have legitimate injury concerns, and they're not going to go out there and tweak something. So the big players primarily will do a pro day at their school or wherever they want to go, and then the scouts can go there and watch that player work out. But today, I mean, this is insane what's happening now. So one of the top quarterbacks coming out of school and going into the draft, and maybe the first pick in the draft, USC quarterback Caleb Williams. Now, we know he doesn't want to go on, and do the running and throwing and all that stuff because he's going to do it at a pro day. And he says there's only one of me and there's 32 teams. Now, I'm not taking offense to that because I'm not one of the 32 teams. But he knows, and he probably realizes, that the team that's most likely to take him is the Chicago Bears because the Chicago Bears have the top pick, and they have to make a decision very soon about what they're going to do with Justin Fields, their previous franchise quarterback. Robin, what did you do?
I'm sorry.
What happened? Can you explain, please? Explain.
I pulled a Tony. I pulled a Tony, and I played music when I wasn't expecting to play music. So I had to, guess what? I had to turn off my fader.
Fader? No.
Yours is on.
You got to get one of those now. And you threw off my brilliant soliloquy.
I'm sorry.
USC quarterback Caleb Williams, right? Presumably the first pick in the draft. Today, not only is he saying he's not going to run, he's not going to throw, he's not going to do anything. Today he says he's not even going to take his medical examination. And that's one of the things you do. You get checked out medically. Teams at the Combine are not allowed to have his medical record shared with all the teams. Now, again, I don't care what he does, but when you are that powerful as a player who may or may not be a franchise quarterback, because that's why teams take guys, to suggest to decline medical examinations and not signing off on having his medical record shared with all 32 teams in the NFL because all 32 teams aren't going to take him, what does that say about this guy or his agents or those people representing him? Why even bother showing up? Why even bother going? Why even bother wanting to get all the love that you got at USC? The Combine's been there, and it'll be there long after you're gone. And so if you're going to play these games and you got an agent that's absolutely that thick-headed and stupid, I don't know what to say. It's just a joke. Anyway, we're coming right back. We'll have more on the Combine. We'll have NBA, NHL. We have some food updates to do today, too, Robin. A lot of people are angry out there. And when I'm hungry, you know what happens to me. Just like the Hulk. You don't want to see me when I get angry. You won't like me when I'm angry. Except I don't become green and have all these big, bulging things pop out of my head. I got a couple of zits, though, but that doesn't count. We're coming right back. Stick around. We're just getting this party started. It's Friday. It's March 1st. It's a thoroughly confused Miss Robin and a man who's trying to keep this baby on the rails today, Tony Bruno, on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
It was meant to be. Tony Bruno on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real Men of Genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Really, Really, Really Bad Dancer.
Mr. Really, Really, Really Bad Dancer.
Arms swinging, knees bending, head bobbing to no particular rhythm. You're either dancing or having a seizure.
Call me a doctor.
As soon as you hit the dance floor, the taunts begin. Is that all you got, playa? Unfortunately, yes, that's all you got.
Pour it on now.
Who's in the house? Some guy who can't dance. That's who's in the house.
Your star.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, Mr. Happy Feet, because you really put the oogie in boogie.
Mr. Really, really bad dancer.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
From the valley of the Jolly, ho, 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 Green Giant, good things from the garden, garden in the valley, valley of the Jolly Green Giant. Summer green, snapping fresh, kitchen sliced to taste their best, tender beans are coming from the valley, from the valley.
These Green Giant green beans start from special seed and grow into these tender, thick meat beauties. Then they're kitchen sliced at an angle to bring out all their flavor and freshness. Taste the difference yourself. Try Green Giant brand kitchen sliced beans. And if you prefer, you can get the Green Giant's French-style beans, too.
Good things from the garden, garden in the valley, valley of the Jolly, ho, 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 Green Giant.
Hi, Tom Bodette from Motel 6 with a thought. So I was at the local grade school recital the other day while the kids were doing America the Beautiful, and it got me thinking. Motel 6 is a lot like that song. Stay with me here. From out front in the parking lot, you can look up and see those spacious skies. In some places, you can look out over amber waves of grain. Of course, right now, the grain's just kind of poking up through the dirt, but you know what I mean. With nearly 600 locations from sea to shining sea, Motel 6 is close by just about everything this great land has to offer. And no matter where you go, you'll always get a clean, comfortable room for around $24. A lot less in some places, a little more in others, but always the lowest prices of any national chain. For reservations, call 505-891-6161. I'm Tom Bodette for Motel 6, where America still looks beautiful, and we'll leave the light on for you.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Things I say to you, I swear that they are true. I'm all you'll ever need. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Speak, and you shall find. So it be written. Oh, no, we did that earlier in the week.
By the way,
Yes, that's the update, right?
Major Mabuhay at Salamat to, let me get the name correct.
You said, are there any people in the Philippines or
Yes.
Filipinos anywhere listening and watching the show?
Almario.
That's
is
right.
listening-
Ricky's our favorite Filipino.
He is listening in from the Philippines, and we thank you.
I thought he lived in the United
Salamat.
States. I didn't know he was back in the Philippines.
I don't know, but I think is Ricky the one that was having his entire village back home listen in to the Tony Bruno show when we were still on Fox?
I don't know. I remember him checking in on the show.
Yes.
And whenever you would mention Filipinos, because we love Filipinos and Filipino food, and if it weren't for Filipinos, where would we get our nurses? Where we would get the finest people who work at customer service locations for many of our big corporations. The one thing you'll all agree, and I think we all can agree, when you call companies customer service, and Robin and I right away, and Robin especially because she lived in the Philippines, she knows right away that it's a Filipino who's answering the call.
For one, because they are the nicest people.
Exactly. They're all they're just so nice.
Like if you, let's be real here. If you have anybody, all companies are outsourcing, and there's nothing wrong with that.
No,
But
not at all.
Sometimes if they outsource to certain countries, sometimes they're not very nice, or that you can't understand them very well. If they are outsourced to the Philippines, you know that the customer service is going to be fantastic because everybody's nice. They all speak really great, fantastic English, and they can have fun with you rather than them being so like, ugh.
Exactly. And they're very kind, and they try to help you.
And I
and
know
they're
that
pleasant.
we're generalizing, but it's true.
It is true. Now, am I saying there may be not one Filipino person who's having a bad day? But I've never spoken to one, and I've never heard Robin spoken to any Filipino who is, or Filipina, who is working for any customer service company that has been nasty or doesn't go out of their way to help you.
Yeah.
That's what we want from customer service.
Well, we want
That's
that
why
in-
it's called
actually-
customer service.
Actually, you want that for just people that surround you in life because they make your life happier.
Just like this
Happy
show.
people make you
That's
happy.
why we're here. We're happy, and you know it, so clap your hands. If you're happy and you know it, Robin, stomp your feet.
Yes.
All right. Now, meanwhile, let's get it back to the show.
We have somebody calling in, Frank from San Jose, longtime listener.
Oh, we love Frank out there.
And he is calling in. Frank, you are on the air.
Hey, Frank, what's going on? What's the weather? I hear they're getting a big storm, and they're getting like 8 feet of snow up in the Sierra Nevada mountains. It's a big storm coming up there. What's the weather in San Jose today, brother?
Well, first of all, what up, Tony?
What up?
How are you, man?
I'm good, man. Life is good.
So great to hear your voice, be back on the show. What up, Mr. Robin? How are you?
What up? What up?
All right. Hey, yeah, actually, there's been a bunch of rain up here, but the snow's great. Been powder for the last couple of weeks. Hoping to head up there after the snow dies down, at least.
Yeah,
the
Tahoe's
snowstorm
been getting
dies down.
slammed, and I know the people who live there.
Right.
Once you get into March, but the good thing about the snow in the mountains is that when it melts, people will have water again, and we're seeing some of those gigantic rivers. What was the one? The big Lake Mead.
Mm-hmm.
The water is starting to build back up again. I remember 2 years ago you can see dead bodies in cars. That's how low Lake Mead was.
No doubt. All of them. Anderson, all of them. They're all pretty much back to at least 60 or 70% capacity. So it's been good. We need a lot more rain here, though. But,
Absolutely.
Hey, I want to talk a little football with you, if you don't mind.
No, go right ahead. We do talk
you're
sports
talking
here.
about well, I know that, man. And normally we talk about hockey, but I do want to talk about the combine because you're bringing up Caleb Williams. And if I don't know, I may be wrong on this one, but I believe he doesn't have an agent. So
Okay, whatever the case may be,
right now.
but
No, I'm
if
just
he's
saying,
making his own decisions, Frank, that's good for him. But the thing about the medical records, that's the thing listen, I don't care if he doesn't want to throw. He's going to have a pro day. And guess what? When he has his pro day where he'll throw and run and do everything, all 32 teams are not going to be there because he's right. There's only one of him. There aren't 32 teams that are going to draft him. So the scouts that are interested in him will show up. But the medical record thing, I don't get that. I don't. That sends a bad message that why should the other 31 of the 32 teams get my medical records when they're not going to draft me? That means that and if you already know and you're going to be the first round pick, I know you're not supposed to say it because the NFL wants to make it a big surprise on draft night when they play it with the first pick in the NFL draft. But, I think most people realize he's going to go to the Chicago Bears, but the Bears can't say it. He can't say it because they don't want to make it look bad, for the current quarterback, who we know they're trying to shop, and we know he's probably going to go to the Pittsburgh Steelers. To me, that's if there's ever a lock on where the situation will go when it comes to Justin Fields, he's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I would bet Robin's next piece of jewelry on it. Or I will take some of her old jewelry that she no longer uses and take that to a pawn shop and put whatever I get for it on
nice of
an
you.
absolute, because I don't own any jewelry. For an Italian, that's pretty, I don't have any gold chains. I don't have any pinky rings. I don't have any of that typical Italian stuff. I don't need jewelry. You know what I'm saying? And if I want jewelry, I'll go to the jewelry exchange in Tutston and all over the United States of America, Robbie. You know the jewelry exchange, right?
I do.
Anyway, so I think Justin Fields, that's a safe bet, right?
That's a stone cold lock, I believe, going to Pittsburgh. Which everything you're saying about Caleb Williams is right on. And, the one thing that a lot of people don't talk about is, if you look back at his history and all the things that he has said over the past couple of years, and the fact that you don't ever hear his teammates really speaking out for him and saying how great of a person he is or how great of a leader he is and everything like that, I got a lock. I guarantee you Caleb Williams is going to be a bust. And not only that,
you can't guarantee that, man. And by the way, I'm not hating on Caleb Williams. I'm not hating on the guy.
I'm not beating up on him, but I don't think the guy is as NFL ready as J.J. McCarthy is. And let me tell you why. First of all, J.J. McCarthy has been in an NFL system for the past 3 years with an NFL coach. He's 27-1 as a starter. The only game he lost was TCU in the college playoff. and that was mostly the defense's fault. None of that was put on him. The kid is ready to go, and he's only 20 years old. I think if you're going to take a stab at a quarterback in this draft, it's got to be J.J. McCarthy, and I think he'll be the one that will wind up being the star out of this draft.
You may be right, but there's no doubt about one thing, that Caleb Williams, listen, I don't listen to what kids in college and their teammates say. He seems to be a sharp kid. In fact, I have a little clip of him here. I want to play this, Robert. It's going to be on my machine. He was talking with Laura Rutledge at the Combine in Indianapolis, and this is just a short piece of their conversation that they had talking about the meeting with the Chicago Bears.
Well, you were excited for your first date with the Bears. How did it go?
It went well. In these 10-minute, 20-minute things, they're just, they're testing your mental. They're trying to see if you fit for their organization, and if you can do it. They're testing your mental. They're testing how you are, who you are. They're asking questions about that. So it went really well, I believe, and we'll see where all of that goes.
They're testing your mental, but what did you take away from the Bears specifically?
Yeah. That they're serious about getting in position, whether it's they keep Justin or me, getting in position to go win games, and so that's the main takeaway that I've gotten away from them.
When you think about your future, is it more important to be the number one overall pick, or is fit and how that's going to look for what's coming down the pipe for you matter the most?
I'd say both are important to me. I'd say that me getting on the team and then being in the right fit, I would say I would put it just right above being the number one pick, but being number one pick is really cool also.
What has it been like to meet with the other teams? You
wait, I want to hear this part.
Met with 9 total here.
Yep. It's all been kind of the same. They're all trying to, I don't speak much on media, and so they're all trying to, test me and figure out how I respond to things, testing my mental, whether it's about things in my life or whether it's about football.
What are you most excited for as this process continues? Here's where it kind of starts to feel real for you.
Yeah. I'm excited to get back on the team. Those are the best times, the locker room, when you're hanging out with your teammates, outside the facility, a bunch of times like that that I haven't been in since like November or December. So it's
there. You go. I mean, how can you not like the kid? I get I know there's a lot of people that don't like USC, and there's a lot of people that like this quarterback better than that quarterback. We have no say on that. We don't know where he's going to go. But I don't think there hasn't been a lock this certain in the NFL draft process in a long time. We know he's going to be picked by the Chicago Bears with the number one pick. Is there any doubt in your mind, Frank?
Unfortunately, no. But I really, really think that people really need to take a second look at him. Just because if you go back the last couple of years, you listen to all of his clips, things that he's said, the way he's carried himself. And honestly, I know you said you don't put too much clout into what a college kid has to say about a kid. But when you don't have anybody, and I mean anybody, coming to bat for this guy, going online or going on Twitter and saying what good things about this guy, I went back. I can't find any. I can't find anything. Not his coaches, anything like that. I just feel like there's a lot of hype around this kid. It's been like that for a couple of years. He's coming off the Heisman, all that.
Yep.
But if you really look at it, you really want to bring in a player that can step in day one, because that's what the Bears need. They're giving up their franchise quarterback to bring in a guy who can step in day one and go better than 7-9. I mean, this is the first time a 7-9 team has had the first pick, I think, in a really long time. You don't want to blow this. And I just feel like Caleb Williams is not the guy. He's just not the guy.
You may be right. And, and I think that if the Bears did decide that they want J.J. McCarthy ahead, of Caleb Williams, then a lot of people will question that decision. And they'll say, well, let's see what this kid can do. He played great. He played great at Michigan. He won a national championship. But, he spoke at the Combine, and he said he wasn't going to do certain things because he's coming off an injury. And so all these kids now, when you're that powerful and you're going to be a top-tier quarterback especially, you can make the rules. These teams who want you, they're going to have to sit there and listen to what you have to say. So J.J. McCarthy is not going to throw at the Combine, and he will throw. So he's throwing there, but he won't run because of his hamstring, and he doesn't want to take a chance of hurting her. And I get that. He doesn't have to run. Is he going to run a 4.3 40? No. Does it matter when you're a quarterback? You like a quarterback who can run? But anyway, this is the decision-making process, and the fact that this year we have a couple of top-notch, highly rated quarterbacks who probably one of these guys will be the there's no doubt the number one overall pick will be a quarterback. That one thing is an absolute stone-cold lock.
And it'll be Caleb Williams. It will be. It's just, we'll see how this one plays out. I think it'll be interesting to see how this one plays out. I got one more question for you, Tony.
Yes.
Is Jason Kelce coming back?
I think so. I mean, I would be shocked if he doesn't. I know, we used to see Jason all the time when we lived in Philly, and, he'd take his his wife and his two dogs would go up to the PetSmart where we would go, and he loves Philly. The guy grew up in Cincinnati. So Philly and Cincinnati, the climate's pretty much the same. The winter's cold, and he's played it with the Eagles his entire career. If he retires, good for him. I mean, he and his wife have to make that decision.
I think he's going to retire.
You think so?
I do.
I don't think so. I think once he starts going to the Jersey Shore, I think once he starts going down to the beaches when the weather starts, he's already been down the shore hanging out with people.
I saw an interview with his wife where you could see in her face how concerned she was that he was going to get hurt at this late stage.
But I can get hurt at this late stage. Are you worried about me?
Yes.
Now, I don't have 300-pound guys jumping on top of me unless I ask them to, but...
Yes, I am. I would be. I mean, if you were doing something that could be completely debilitating because you are older, then I would say you should not be doing
Robin,
that.
the only thing that could affect me continuing is if I lose my voice and I can't talk.
Yeah, no.
Because then what value would I have if I couldn't talk anymore?
But you're not getting tackled by 300-pound men. Exactly.
Well, 300-pound men couldn't catch me for the most. Well, now they can because they're big and fast. I mean, back in the day, I could outrun anybody, Robin. I mean, anybody. I was a veritable road runner. I had unbelievable speed.
But I think his wife is going to convince him that it is not worth it at this stage in his game anymore. It's not worth coming back. That his children and his family is more important.
Robin,
at this point.
Who are you to make a decision for?
I'm not making a decision.
You're just saying
I'm just saying that that's what I think. I'm calling.
You see how we break this down, Frank? This is what we do on the show.
It's good stuff. It's always gold. No, I just I really feel I think it's ridiculous that everybody's counting out the Eagles next year. They were 12-1. I really feel like it was a locker room thing. I put it all on Sirianni because you can't lose the locker room that way. Like that. I've never seen anything like that. I just, and some of the losses and the last drives and some of the play calls were so elementary, like 4 freaking streaks and a crossing route, on 4th.
No, there's no doubt in my lifetime.
Really
in my lifetime watching good Eagles teams and horrific Eagles team, that was the most dumbfounding final stretch of any season because they were good. It's not like they got off to a slow start, started playing better, and faded. I mean, they came out of the game. They weren't dominating. They were finding ways to win. And normally when you're a team.
That's what good teams do.
Yeah, when you're a good team and you have new assistant coaches, the defensive and offensive coordinator, you expect a couple of weeks to get things going. And they didn't play anybody in the preseason. And so these guys didn't play together. The offensive line, luckily, was still there. Most of those guys were healthy, which helped a lot. The running back situation was solid. And yet, whatever happened is the most dumbfounding thing I have ever seen on any sports team that started out 10-1 and then went straight into the shitter. It was just beyond. I still can't believe it happened.
Seriously, and I go back and I watch some of the games and just some of the decisions that were made when they were trailing, and like in the Washington game, it was like 4th and 6, and Jalen throws 20 yards down the field into double coverage when he had 2 crossing routes open. It was just a lot of bad decisions.
You're making me relive these moments. I don't want to go back.
No,
I don't want to go back and remember that. I'm trying to erase it. The problem with the human brain is we can't go in and erase that stuff. I want to have a defragger. Do we have a defragger for the human brain, Robin? Can we work? Get Elon Musk on the phone. Forget about this other stuff. What is that thing called he's putting in people's brains?
Yeah, I know. Well, maybe one of those things inside your brain will allow you to defrag.
No, I don't think that's what that thing does, Robin.
That would be awesome.
Hey, Frank, great for hearing from you, man. Appreciate the call.
Tony, great talking to you. We'll talk to you again, man.
There he is, out there in San Jose. Probably right near the original Joe's, Robin, one of my favorite places. By the way, people on the Facebook or the Tony Bruno Sports Network feed, is this on Facebook? Yeah. Saying, hey, Robin, you mentioned years ago living in the Philippines. Ever eat lumpia or adobo? Come on, Michael.
I just had both lumpia and adobo a few days ago because our fabulous engineer, Ron Quinn,
His
is
wife.
married to a Filipino.
Yep.
And I mentioned to him that I'm really, really missing lumpia, really good homemade lumpia and pancit. And I make adobo all the time myself. And he brought some over. Oh, my God, I was in hog heaven.
Yeah, he brought over a ton of it. And by the way, Timothy Philip McDevitt, when we were talking about diamonds, rocks at Robbins, yo. They're in Delaware, though. What up, Imelda Marcos? What up, Subic Bay? Now, that's good, Subic Bay.
Yeah.
No, that's why our audience is probably the smartest audience of any audience, whether it's sports, news, traffic, weather, astronomy, any kind of radio or TV or podcast. Nobody has smarter listeners than this program.
And we want to give a major shout out to one of our listeners who is fresh off of spinal surgery yesterday.
No, who?
He is home. Footlong Foles.
Footlong Foles.
Footlong Foles is resting. He's enjoying the show today. Hopefully we don't make you laugh too much, Footlong Foles, because that might hurt. I don't know. Unless you have you probably have really good painkillers. So laugh away.
Exactly.
Laughter's the best medicine. And
we've got a lot of baseball, too, this afternoon, Robin. And I'll go to the out-of-town scoreboard in a moment. But I'll give everybody the latest on baseball. The Astros let me do a quick run now. Bottom of the ninth now. Bases loaded for the Nationals. But the Astros lead 10-6 in that ball game in the ninth inning. The Tampa Bay Rays getting crushed by the Pittsburgh Pirates, who are 1-5 so far this spring. Rays down 12-6, and they're in the top of the ninth. The Cubs 2-0 over the White Sox, leading the Cubs 2-0. They're only in the third inning, though, and all the other games starting out west in Arizona. A's trailing the Royals already, 3-0. They're in the third. The Texas Rangers trailing the winless San Francisco Giants. Giants are 0-4, 0-2 at home, and they're playing in the Giants ballpark over there in Camelback Ranch in that area. 3-0 Giants lead the Texas Rangers. The Angels and Padres, San Diego up 2-1. They're in the third. Padres and Brewers, 2-1 Padres. And the Rockies already jumping out to a 4-0 lead over your Seattle Mariners. And tonight, there's games tonight on a Friday night. Baseball Friday night action. The Yankees up there in Tampa will take on the Toronto Blue Jays at 6:35 Eastern. The Reds and the Diamondbacks coming up at Goodyear Ballpark in Goodyear, Arizona. That's at Cincinnati's ballpark, Diamondbacks and Reds. Guardians and Dodgers. The Dodgers at Camelback Ranch. Of course, when I mentioned the Dodgers play at Camelback Ranch in Arizona, we know that. Guardians and Dodgers. That game is at 8:05. And weather at 75 degrees. A beautiful night for baseball action. Earlier today, the Orioles beat the Braves 3-1. The Twins beat the Red Sox. Red Sox were winning in that game. But how about your Minnesota Twins? You know, they play right near each other here in Fort Myers.
Yes.
Twins pull it out today, 5-3. Phillies and Marlins, a 6-6 tie. I think the Phillies have more ties than Macy's right now because they're going out of business. But the Phillies with another tie against the Marlins. But the Phillies got it 6-6. They had a split squad game. The Phillies lost the other game up at Publix Field at Joker Marchant Stadium in Lakeland, Florida. Tigers won it 4-2. So you had the Phillies split squads up at Clearwater, at Baycare Ballpark, and against the Tigers up there in Lakeland, Florida today. So Phillies get a loss and a tie today if you're scoring at home. We're coming right back. We'll give you more on NBA, hockey action, and we've got another food situation developing across America.
And we have another Florida update.
And another Florida update, Robin?
Florida update.
Wow, we got a jam-packed Friday afternoon of action. And 2 hours still to go. Don't forget to call in. 3-1, what is the number again, Robin?
352. 352.
234-8669.
Yeah.
I'll just have you say the first three numbers.
And then you could
and
do the
then
rest.
I'll say 2, 3, 4 because that's sequential, so that's easy to remember.
Okay.
And 8669 has been the last 4 digits of every phone number I've had in the
we've
last
always
20
said,
years.
Together, we make a great pair.
Yeah. 2 brains are better than 1, folks. We're coming right back. Stick around on March 1st. It's First Friday, Robin. That means we have to go out and get wasted tonight, don't we?
We can stay in and get wasted.
Well, yeah, let's do that. We don't want to drive. Don't drink and drive, kids. Stay home and get wasted on the first Friday of March of 2024.
It was meant to be. Tony Bruno on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
When you're looking for a treat to freshen taste and keep breath sweet, get double smoothness, flavor too. Get the gum that's double good to chew.
Double your pleasure, double your fun with double mint gum.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Parade Float Driver.
Mr. Parade Float Driver.
Real men don't drive shiny sports cars. Real men drive old school bus chassis covered in papier-mâché, pansies, and puppets.
Slow and easy.
Why? Chicks dig floats. Just ask the Carson County Pork Queen waving from the back end.
Lovely pork queen.
You drive with sweaty palms. One wrong move from you, and Paul Tilley's old-timey barbershop quartet is history. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh thoroughbred of the thoroughfare. When it comes to parades, you really float our boats. Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Over-the-Top Carb Counter.
Mr. Over-the-Top Carb Counter.
Brushing aside such follies as work and family, you wisely adopted carbo counting as your primary pastime.
I'm crazy for carbos.
From breakfast through dinner, you tirelessly record every precious carb, hoping it might all add up to your target number, 0.
Hold on to your dream now.
Was that artichoke you ate 13.5 carbs or 13.6? Better look it up while you help yourself to another package of bacon. So crack open an ice-cold Bud Light, oh Count of Monte Carlo, because the only thing better than meat and potatoes is meat and meat.
Mr. Over-the-Top
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
From San Francisco comes
Right, Aroni, the San Francisco treat. Right, Aroni, the flavor can't be beat. One pan, no boiling, cooking ease.
A flavor that is sure to please.
Right, Aroni, the San Francisco treat.
Rice-A-Roni, the delicious break from potatoes, now in 6 fabulous flavors.
One pan, no boiling, cooking ease.
A flavor that is sure to please.
Right, Aroni, the San Francisco treat.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, and now it's here. TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network. The Tony Bruno Sports Network. Download the app, tell your friends, the game is on. TBSN.
I'm in love with Mary Jane. She's my main thing. She makes me feel alright.
Mary Jane? The woman Mary Jane? Or the other Mary Jane? That's the question when I hear this great tune. It's a slow jam from back in the day. Tony Bruno, Miss Robin, it's Friday. It's March 1st. And you are in the groove zone. The great Luigi Curto will join us at 5 o'clock. And today we may have to bust open a cocktail, Robin.
I believe we should.
Been
And
another long but good week. Weather's been nice. You know what I'm saying?
I almost feel like breaking open the good stuff.
Well, what are we drinking? Cheap shit?
No, but I
Good
almost
stuff.
the coconut 1800 tequila. No tequila on Friday?
Not at 5 o'clock, Robin.
Why not?
Not at 5 o'clock. We have another Florida update coming up this hour. We gave you the latest from the Combine. We got NHL action. Couple of interesting, just when you weren't looking, if you're a hockey fan, the Florida Panthers, you talk about a team that, I'm not saying they've come out of nowhere, but do you realize right now that the Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers are the only two teams in the entire NHL with 40 wins already? That's unbelievable. Now, the Rangers we know are good, and they're playing better, and they've had some streaks here and there. But the Florida Panthers, while you were sleeping, are atop their division, the Atlantic, and the Rangers, obviously, atop of the Metropolitan. Meanwhile, the two worst teams in hockey, your San Jose Sharks and the Chicago Blackhawks. And the interesting thing about the Blackhawks, each team, San Jose and Chicago, each team has 15 wins on the season. And we knew the Sharks weren't going to be very good. But the Blackhawks at least have a rising superstar to build around. Connor Bedard, who was the first overall pick, as you remember, just last spring, he now has the top-selling jersey in the entire National Hockey League. Kid's 18 years old. His team stinks on ice, on dry ice, in the Arctic Circle. If it was plunged down to the bottom of the Antarctic Circle with all the big king crab down there that the deadliest catch guys are out there risking their lives to get so you can go to another seafood buffet and eat the unlimited crab legs. Connor Bedard has 17 goals. It's unbelievable. And the reason why his jersey's the number one seller, Robin, because he's a young star, and Chicago's a big sports town, and they're starving for quality. So they've been selling more tickets than they had. They doubled their season ticket sales after they took this young phenom. And even though their team stinks, as I mentioned, they only have 15 wins. In their last 29 games, the Chicago Blackhawks are 5-20-4. 5 wins, 20 losses, and four overtime ties in their last 29 games. 5 out of 29. They only have 15 wins, but Connor Bedard is one of those kids everybody wants to see play. Even though the Chicago, and they got wiped out last night by the Colorado Avalanche, 5-0, a shutout, and that Nathan McKinnon, not a young, well, he's a young guy, but a guy who's a stud, and everybody already knows it. 100 points in his first 61 games, back-to-back seasons for him having 100 points. This kid is a certified superstar already. And you go back and you look at the franchise, the Colorado Avalanche, which started back when I was in Birmingham, Alabama. And the WHA had a bunch of teams, including the Quebec Nordiques. And the Quebec Nordiques became the Colorado Avalanche. And not since those days of the Quebec Nordiques, where they had some great Hall of Fame players, have we seen somebody as impressive. And they've had impressive players. Don't get me wrong. I mean, they won cups. My point is that this kid, Nathan McKinnon, real deal. 61 games, 100 points already. So that's your update. We got games tonight. You got 3 games tonight. You got the Philadelphia Flyer at the Washington Capitals. You got Arizona at Ottawa, and then a late game tonight out in Anaheim, California, the New Jersey Devils against the Anaheim Ducks. So that's your Friday night and Friday afternoon NHL action, yo. You know what I mean, Robin? You know what I'm saying?
I do.
Now, do we have a Florida update?
We do.
We have open lines, too. Let me repeat the number. What are the first 3 digits, Robin?
352.
352. Now I know the rest. You start it. You say 352.
352.
234 8669. I think that's the way we should do it from now on.
From now on. I'll just
every time. And you could text that number, or you can call in and join us live.
So, in other words, it's like all sorts of other things. I'll start you off, and then you can finish on your own.
No, you start me, and then I'll finish you off.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works. Okay. Right? I mean, that works in every facet of a relationship. Somebody's got to start somebody off, and then the other person finishes it.
Yeah, okay.
You following me right now?
There we go. We also,
yo, let's do this shit.
We
Yeah, I
also,
hear you, man. I
we
hear
also
you.
have a Pat McAfee update
We have a Pat
regarding his war with Norby Williamson at
ESPN?
ESPN.
They're back at it again?
Well,
Oh, this is breaking news. I
This
have
is-
not been paying attention to this, Robin.
yes.
Let's go to the update desk with your correspondent. I love Radio Wars.
Now,
Here's Miss Robin.
I do not have the audio of it, so this is just the transcript. This is
Where is this coming from, Robin?
USA Today has the transcript of all the smoke.
USA Today, are they still in business?
I guess so. All the Smoke podcast with Matt Barnes and Steven Jackson.
All the
where,
smoke. Matt Barnes will kill you, man. Matt
And,
Barnes will kill you.
Pat McAfee went on the podcast and they asked him what's going on with this feud with Norby, who Pat McAfee called out back in January. If you recall, we did that story. And you said you totally understood what was going on. And Pat McAfee explained, he said, I thought that was a warning shot to Norby Williamson and the rest of ESPN.
Right across the bow.
Right across the bow. But I'm going to read this because these are now the transcript. I guess a lot of people have a lot of fear of him. I do not. That guy left me sitting in his office for 45 minutes. No-showed me when I was supposed to have a meeting with him. He also banned all my friends from coming on the show. There was a ban of ESPN talent on my show on YouTube, and that came directly from him. Now,
let me just add that Norby Williamson in my years at ESPN never bossed me around either. So Pat McAfee and I have something in common.
Yes, you do. Now, there was friction between ESPN and Pat McAfee after Aaron Rodgers used his weekly spot on the program to blast
we know.
Jimmy
that's
Kimmel.
well documented.
That's well documented.
Because all the other woke media people hated Aaron Rodgers, and then they thought, therefore, they hated Pat McAfee as well. But at least they gave him a lot of columns to write.
Well, here's
all these whacked out woke writers who hate Aaron Rodgers because he didn't take the vaccine or didn't like the vaccine, so they had to come after him like the puppets. The government puppets that they are.
Right.
So continue, please.
And so I will continue as Pat McAfee. There became like a war almost from behind scenes from Sports Center people and people that had been at ESPN a long time against us coming in and taking their jobs and all this other expletive. He said, I didn't see it like that. We were like pumped. We made it to the big leagues. Hey, I'm pumped. We're on the worldwide leader. That's how I viewed it. Immediately, it's like, this guy sucks. This guy's ruining ESPN. It's not coming from people outside ESPN. It's coming from people within ESPN. And I did not expect that at all. So I'm immediately like, okay, we're at war. If that's what we're doing, we're at war. Oops, wrong mouse to continue going on. And then once you start learning about how shitty everything is going behind the scenes, things that are being said to people, things that are being leaked, the timing in which they're being leaked, it's like, oh, so they're trying to kill me. They're trying to make our show impossible to advertise with. They're trying to make sure people don't watch our show. And as I started learning that, I'm like, all right, I don't know how this has gone in the past with other people, but this particular white trash kid from Pittsburgh, hey, Suits, this is not how it's going to go. So McAfee said he didn't appreciate the media coverage of his initial comments directed towards Williamson that he said was calling out his boss. McAfee said he views himself as an equal to Williamson and reports to ESPN chairman Jimmy Pitaro and Disney CEO Bob Iger. He said, I'm the executive producer of my show. I report directly to Jimmy and Bob. I'm not really viewing anybody like I saw everybody. Pat calls out his boss. I don't give a expletive boss. We're talking Jimmy Pitaro or Bob Iger. Is that who we're talking about? Because those are people that could technically be described as my boss.
Exactly. And here's the thing, and we saw it in Vegas. And, Pat McAfee and I, a couple of years ago, we were all in New York when I presented him with the award that I used to give out for the up-and-coming, the top riser in sports talk, radio, or TV.
The newest, the up-and-coming.
So it was Clay Travis the first year. When I picked Clay Travis, not a lot of people knew him, and now look at him.
Yep.
He started Outkick. Whether you like him or not, it doesn't matter. The guy's a star. And then what happened? Fox bought out Outkick, and now he's a multimillionaire. Pat McAfee started as a punter. Then he had his own show. And then ESPN smartly realized that having daytime talent, because ESPN really, back in my era, the talent developed themselves and they became stars. The Dan Patricks and the Keith Olbermanns and all the guys, the late, great Stuart Scott, all the people that were on SportsCenter back in those days in the early 90s, they all became household names because everybody watched SportsCenter. SportsCenter was the go-to television program. At 11 o'clock at night, you turned it on and you wanted to see the highlights. And so SportsCenter made a lot of people really, really famous, and those people have moved on in their lives, after a nice run, like I did, a nice run at ESPN. But the thing that ESPN was suffering from is when they started tinkering with their daytime lineup and were putting on shows that people weren't watching. So then ESPN finally realized that's why they put Stephen A. Smith on in the morning, because they knew he would move the needle, and then they hired Pat McAfee away. Remember, they went after him, and because he was doing a show on FanDuel, I think. So they pick him up. How important is Pat McAfee to ESPN, Robin? What did I say to you when we were in Vegas? We got there on the Saturday before the Super Bowl, and we went to the media center. There were like 20 people already setting up Pat McAfee's entire stage, all of his backdrops, all the lights and cameras. I mean, there were people working there for 4 days to set up his one spot, which was only his show. And then he went there for 3 days. He did Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday from there.
Yep.
Because that's how important he is to ESPN. There are very few people more important to ESPN than Pat McAfee. He may be the most important person at ESPN. Not because I like him or any of that stuff, because he drives ratings. And the media hates a guy like Pat McAfee, who's, and he's not very political. He's not a right-wing or a left-wing guy. He just has fun. He does sports the right way. The sports the way I used to do it, and people have fun doing sports. And so the fact that he's now a target of the media for daring to knock a guy who's a producer there because he has more power. Now, do I do that? Did I ever rip on a boss? I didn't rip bosses. I ripped companies. And everybody rips the company they work for. But I didn't burn bridges or all these other things that people have said, he burned his bridges. I didn't burn my bridges. I mean, they said Keith Olbermann burned his bridges, and then they hired him back 3 times. They hired me back a couple of times. So I think what ESPN realizes, that if you're going to make the needle move during the daytime, you better have big-name stars instead of just the heads and talking boxes that you see on every TV network during the day, because they've got to fill the programming. That's the facts. This isn't a personal, I like this guy better than that guy. I see what's happening. ESPN needed a jump start in their afternoon programming, and they've always had Tony Kornheiser, PTI. That shows, that's the gold standard. But now all the other shows are just guys yelling at each other in boxes. And some of it gets ratings, and some of it, to me, it's just all the same. It's all the same noise. Who's going to yell louder? Luckily, I don't do any yelling on this show. Right, Robin? Do I ever yell on this show?
Only at me.
Only at you, and only one, and only
and at Dean.
And only, I only use it
sparingly.
Sparingly, and when necessary. There's no reason to be outraged every day. And some people who do this, whether it's a political talk show host, you can't be outraged every single day, can you, Robin?
I would hope not. I mean, it is people are capable of that, and it's exhausting. It's exhausting to be around and exhausting to listen to. So I don't recommend it.
No, you can't be outraged because listen, you can see things every day and become outraged on it, but why bother? There's nothing you can do to change it unless there's something you can change. Then but we can be outraged, for example, when we talk about food prices and stuff, because you got the situation going on in California with Governor Newsom, and now with the Panera Bread. Apparently, they're the one company that didn't have to pay their employees $20 an hour. And then it turns out that the guy who runs Panera Bread is a big bundler and gave Gavin Newsom a lot of money, which is what politicians rely on. Politicians rip billionaires, but when billionaires give them money, they don't rip them anymore, or at least that particular person. But anyway, the situation going on with restaurants.
Yeah, no, just really, really quick.
Yes.
For those of you who are listening on the TBSN app, there's something going on funky with it. With
Is the audio funky?
I'm having our engineers try to figure it out. It's crackling. switch over to any of the video streams. The video streams seem to have no problem whatsoever. So YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, what am I forgetting? YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and on Twitter.
No filter?
Twitter.
No filter?
Pull it up on Twitter as well,
Mhm.
and you will be able to watch and listen through there. And the audio sounds fine. So we're going to have the engineer look to see why it's being so funky on the TBSN app.
And then one thing I want to get to, because I just saw the story just came in, a judge has now held veteran journalist Catherine Herridge, who was maybe the best reporter
Yes.
at CBS News, an investigative journalist, not somebody who gave opinions. Catherine Herridge was one of the most decorated journalists in any network. She worked for Fox, and then CBS hired her, and now a judge has decided to hold Catherine Herridge in civil contempt for refusing to divulge sources.
Wow.
You know where we see this kind of stuff, Robin?
Yes, in kangaroo courts, in
Banana republics.
banana republics, in places that are like Russia and
Now, if you didn't hear the story,
Germany
Catherine
did
Herridge.
this. The Nazis did this to journalists back in the day. This is horrific.
This is what happens in fascist dictatorships
Yep.
or Marxist, whatever one, communist, Marxist, socialist, fascist, all the bad people.
Anybody that doesn't know the rule here in the United States that has been established for years,
Constitutionally protected, by the way.
that journalists have the freedom and the right to not divulge their sources. That is the only way they will be able to go after these really big stories, is if they can say that they will keep who they are talking to secret.
So let's
This
go
is
back now.
horrific.
Let's go back to the Super Bowl, right? CBS has boffo ratings, right? The biggest rated television audience ever. Part of CBS is Paramount, and also part of CBS Sports is CBS Television. And so that entire group, the day after the Super Bowl, they couldn't wait any longer. They fired like 200 people. And one of those people was investigative reporter Catherine Herridge. They fired her, and then the story became that not only did they fire her, but they cleaned out all of her personal belongings. They cleaned out her office, they took all of her files, and they also confiscated her personal computer and all of the phone numbers that were on it. So she was sued. Luckily, after the union representing, American Federation of Television and Radio people, and SAG, the Screen Actors Guild, and civil liberties unions went after CBS and said, you cannot hold on to that information. And they gave it back to her. But guess what? All of a sudden, U.S. District Judge Christopher Cooper in Washington, D.C., decided to fine Catherine Herridge $800 per day until she reveals her source.
Wow.
But the fine will not go into effect immediately to give her time to appeal. So this is a judge in Washington going after a protected member of the press, which is free press in our society, and the fact that this guy is going to charge her. Now, this is what this idiot judge goes on to say. Herridge and many of her colleagues in the journalism community may disagree with that decision and prefer that a different balance be struck, but she is not permitted to flout a federal court's order with impunity, wrote Cooper, who, by the way, was nominated to the bench by former President Barack Obama. And one of the reasons they don't like Catherine Herridge, because apparently she was reporting on and investigating a lot of the Joe Biden stuff going on with his family, and she was getting a little too close to the target because she's not a muckraker and she's not somebody that just puts out bullshit. So she was investigating stories about a Chinese-American scientist and all these other things going on between our government and other bad governments. Mm-hmm. That's her job, to expose corruption. That's what it was. They were the people who were going to go and be they were the overseers of corruption in Washington, D.C. Our political class could not run amok. And remember Watergate. There were people investigating Watergate, winning Pulitzer Prizes. That's what the media is supposed to do, not run cover or carry water for either political party. But nowadays, our media is carrying water for political parties. But Catherine Herridge, I can get, they arrested a guy from Turning Point USA for his January 6th coverage. Do I like that? People being handcuffed behind their backs because they had the audacity to report on something that they didn't like, the media didn't like, or the government didn't like about the January 6th stuff. To me, you cannot, when you start prosecuting journalists and demanding that they reveal their sources, that is absolutely communistic behavior. And anybody in the media who defends this should also be removed. But the media protects itself. The corrupt media protects the corrupt media. And so who are the final arbiters?
Honestly, it's shocking. It is shocking.
It is. I never in a million years would think I would see this.
Especially somebody like Catherine Herridge is one of those old school, completely unbiased investigative journalists. I mean, she does such an amazing job. The stories that she has investigated and brought to light are just amazing. If you look at her journalistic history.
Yeah,
I mean,
we don't need to adjudicate that now, Robin.
I know.
I want to continue with this story.
It's absolutely amazing.
So now this story goes on. This is the Associated Press reporting on, and they're actually doing a legitimate job of explaining this. Legal fights over whether journalists should have to divulge sources are rare, though they've arisen several times in the past couple of decades in Privacy Act cases, just like one filed by this Chinese person, Chen. Her name was, let me find this here. Bob. Chen's this. Okay, I got to find who this Chen. So Herridge, who recently was laid off by CBS News, published an investigative series for Fox News in 2017 that examined Chen's ties. A woman who used to Yanping Chen, who sued the government over the leak of details about the probe into statements she made on immigration forms related to her work on a Chinese astronaut program. Herridge reported on that and published an investigative series when she worked at Fox in 2017 that examined Chen's ties to the Chinese military and raised questions about whether the scientist was using a professional school she founded in Virginia to help the Chinese government get information about American service members. That's what, because there's Chinese spies, there's Russian spies. I mean, people come to this country, they steal our intellectual content, which the Chinese has been doing for a long time. So anyway, the stories relied on what Chen's lawyers contend were items leaked from the probe, including snippets of an FBI document. So it's okay when leaks happen and they're given to select press people who want to get bad news out about a particular person they don't agree with. But when Catherine Herridge, a legitimate investigative reporter, is investigating a woman who's a Chinese potential spy and doing stuff in Washington, so she sued the FBI, this Chen woman, in 2018, accusing the government of violating the Privacy Act, which prohibits the public disclosure of private individuals' information about individuals without the consent. Without their consent. Listen, I agree. The government should not take anybody's personal information and leak it out without the person's consent. But guess what? That's what's been happening every single day in this country. I don't think it's good, but some leaks are good, some whistleblowers are good and never have to be identified, and other ones that they disagree with have to be brought forward as treasonous to the government. So anyway, so the ruling, according to this judge, the ruling is an important one to ensure that government officials can be held to account for outrageous abuses of power. No shit. So the judge had ordered Herridge in August to answer questions about the source or sources in the deposition with Chen's lawyers. The judge ruled that Chen needed to know for the sake of the lawsuit, and it overcomes Herridge's right to shield her source.
No.
Does it?
No, that's
that
not
every
how it
single reporter who has leaked stuff about the Supreme Court Roe decision, which obviously somebody gave it out as an inside leak, and then they reported it and never reported who leaked it, other leaks. So again, but this is interesting though. In 2008, for instance, the Justice Department agreed to pay $5.8 million to settle a lawsuit by an Army scientist by the name of Stephen Hatfill, who was falsely identified as a person of interest in the 2001 anthrax attacks. You remember those, Robin?
Yes.
I mean, that was a national story. The settlement resulted in a contempt order being vacated against a journalist who was being asked to name her sources. So there you have it. The government has no right to demand sources, confidential sources, from someone investigating government fraud or government corruption, especially with Chinese spies in this country, presumably posing and getting information so they can use it against our government to protect the American people. That's how I interpret this. So, I mean, when you have people like Catherine Herridge being persecuted by the government, that shows you this country is headed down the wrong track.
We have reporters that have had to turn themselves in for reporting on January 6th.
No, they're still going after those people.
There's a reporter that had to turn himself in yesterday.
Yeah, not only did he turn himself, they handcuffed him behind his back. They went to this guy's house and handcuffed him behind his back because he had the audacity to do reporting on January 6th that the government didn't agree with. Is that what's happened? If anybody has no trouble with this, then you are completely delusional and you want to be controlled. Now, I know a lot of friends who want to be controlled, but they usually have to pay for that. And that's for pleasurable purposes. Most people do not want the government to control you.
There's only one way I want to be controlled. Paulo Ferreira, whom we haven't heard from in a while. This is wonderful. Welcome back. Remember on the morning extravaganza when you had a gong sound drop for stories like this?
Yeah, I don't have that because if I play the gong now, some people will call it a cultural appropriation.
Now,
I can't find it. We have a lot of sound effects.
There are a lot of people who are also talking about the Radio Hall of Fame. I posted the link, and Sean Keating saying, vote for Tony Bruno for the Radio Hall of Fame, Bruno 24. I'm
not running for, listen, I would never run for political office. I have no interest in working for the government because then I would have to give up my integrity and then pretend that people who wanted to pay me were good people. I would never do that.
And not only that, but Miss Robin is First Lady. I have way too many skeletons in my closet to be First Lady.
I don't want to be the first man. I want to be the man.
We would have a bad combo mama. There's way too much stuff in our past. And there's pictures and videos. It would just not be a good thing. D. Conrad in Vegas says, and Tony doesn't leak. Well, thank God for that.
Well, not yet. And if I do, sometimes, it depends. I mean, if I'm in the car or the truck, that's why I carry a little thing now. I carry one of those things you open up. It looks like
an
accordion. And, if we're out on the road. Now, if I'm out on the road in the woods, I'll do what everybody does, even women. You go up against a tree and you water it.
Well, it's a little easier for men than it is for women.
No, you can pee standing up, can't you, Robin?
It splashes everywhere. It's really a big
if you do it right. Not if you do it right.
Oh. How do you pee up against a tree? Dial 35223.
Is there any way? I did it today, actually. I have to admit it. We're in a parking lot. Robin went to pick up her eyeglasses.
Yes. Do you see my new eyeglasses? Actually,
her new $800 lenses, the same frames. Same frames from 2 years ago, but now her prescription changed, and you should get your eyes checked every year. So you take the same frames, and you need a new prescription in those said frames that you paid over $1,000 for.
You don't have insurance.
2 years ago. Now you pay $800 for the same frames going into the same frames, the new lenses.
Aren't they beautiful, though?
Yes, they are, Robin. Yes, they are. I'm still pissed off about this Catherine Herridge story. Now, luckily she's still not working at Fox News because then the media would say, well, she works at Fox News. She therefore is a criminal. She was working at CBS News, which is hardly considered far-right media. And so that's the world we live in now. If you don't believe the integrity of the press is important and having the media hold people in power accountable, then you don't know what the news media is about. You don't know what his job is.
Jason Padua, yes. With insurance, you just paid $200 for your glasses. My glasses, I have them both. They are.
She has all the bells and whistles.
No, well, they're the transitions and the.
Did they identify as male or female before they transition, Robin?
So they turn dark color when I go outside. Plus, they're like what do you call them when they're 3 different prescriptions?
Yeah, they don't have the line in the bottom of them.
Yeah. So I can wear these all day long and not have to worry about it. And I got 2 pair.
For $800.
Yeah, it's an outrage.
But that's why we take care of our eyes, Robin. You got
Yes,
to take care of
Jason,
your eyes, your teeth.
We need to bring. There's so many T-shirts that we need to bring back. It's an outrage,
Mm-hmm.
definitely. Damn it, Robin.
Damn it,
People are
Robin.
asking for "Damn it, Robin." I'm trying to picture people just wandering around wearing a "Damn it, Robin" T-shirt.
We'll get that stuff
Progressives.
going.
Thank you,
Emma.
Jason. Progressives.
No, not politics. The progressive lenses. So up at the top, like me, I don't need any far away stuff.
But back when I had great insurance, I had the fabulous Ray-Bans, and then those are Gucci frames, which I didn't have to pay for back in the day. And then
Why didn't you just do what modern day people do? Just go in and steal all the Gucci and the all the frames, bring them, steal a whole bunch of the ones you like, and then go back in a couple days later and say, "Hey, I'd like to have my new frames put into
and
these."
then you would have to pay
the lens.
$800 for them, like I did.
Then you bust into the back and then you go in there and you tell the optometrist and the obstetrician and the obstetrician and the optologist and the guy who puts a drop in your eyes, "I want my damn lenses and I want them now, or I'm not leaving this sumbitch." Anyway. We're coming
Tony,
right back.
listen to some Peebo and
I'm
just
chilling.
chill.
I'm chill.
Just relax.
I wasn't outraged. I just find that
You're angry, but
no, I'm not angry. I think that anybody should be angry when you see what's happening to certain members of the media that the regime doesn't care about. That doesn't happen in this country. It should never happen. Meanwhile, we're coming right back. We'll get it back. We have another Florida update. You know what I'm saying?
And then
And then what?
we will be joined by Luigi for our Friday Luigi extravaganza.
And you know what that segment's going to be called, right?
Everybody must eat.
Yeah.
Everybody must eat. Everybody must eat.
And we're going to eat. It's Friday. I know it's still Lent, but we'll go no meat. How about meatless Friday, Robin? I think we already had meat today, so that's over.
Yeah, that
we went
is-
to Culver's and
I
got some
know.
butter burgers.
We're already past that.
I'm going to hell anyway. Does it really matter at this point? Stick around. We're coming right back. Tony Bruno, Miss Robin, the whole gang is here. Just chilling on a Friday afternoon, baby. Yeah.
It was meant to be. Tony Bruno on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
It's me, the Frito Bandito. You know what I heard about you? I heard you want to be a Frito Bandito like me. You do? Then you must sing the Bandito song. Let's sing together. You just follow the bouncing Fritos corn chips bag. Ay, 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 ay. I am the Frito Bandito. Hey, I like Fritos corn chips. I love them, I do. I want Fritos corn chips. I'll get them from you. Ay, 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 ay. Oh, I am the Frito Bandito. Give me Fritos corn chips and I'll be your friend. The Frito Bandito, you must not offend. Now, boys and girls, you are Frito Banditos too. You sing the Frito Bandito song and you loco for crunchy Fritos corn chips. That's nice. Munch, munch, munchy bunchy Fritos corn chips. Munchy bunchy Fritos corn chips.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. In the Car Nose Picker.
Mr. In the car nose picker.
For you, the daily commute isn't simply a drive to the office. It's a hands-on exploration deep into your schnoz.
I'm going in now.
With pinpoint accuracy and sheer determination, you dig for boogers like miners dig for gold.
Hit the jackpot.
And why do you do it? Because the windows are up and you think we can't see you. We can.
How you doing?
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, oh nabber of the nose nugget. We'd like to shake your hand, but you'll have to wash it first.
Mr. In the car nose picker.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it.
Floors, doors, walls, halls, white sidewall tires, and old golf balls.
Sinks, stoves, bathtubs he'll do. He'll even help clean laundry too.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute.
Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and
kitchen sink?
Quicker than a wink,
Can he clean a window sash?
faster than a flash.
Can he clean a dirty mirror?
He'll make it bright and clear.
Can he clean a diamond ring?
Mr. Clean cleans anything.
Mr. Clean gets rid of dirt and grime and grease in just a minute. Mr. Clean will clean your whole house and everything that's in it. Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Yeah. Yeah. By the way, Robin has already started the happy hour on this Friday, March 1st. So she comes in and brings me a nice little glass, and it appears to be a clear liquid substance in it. Something's floating in it now. There's like debris floating in it, and there's a lime in it. I'll put it up to the camera so you can see. I said, Robin, what is that? What is that, Robin?
It's tequila, coconut tequila.
The 1800?
1800. It's
pretty
it's
old.
So awesome.
So you know that there are things floating around in there? And the reason I realized things were floating around, because I took said lime, not out of the coke, although it's coconut, right?
Yeah, it's the
coconut
lime in the. I put the lime in
the
coconut.
coconut vodka, which is the what's the brand of that?
Cuervo, 1800.
Cuervo 1800. This isn't the cheap shit. So I take the lime out and I see stuff's floating around in there, and then I look at my lime.
Of course, I had to give you
And
that one.
Robin still has the stinking filthy label on the lime. Now remember, she had to cut this lime into wedges. But did she take off the label before she stuck it in my glass? And now there's all kinds of foreign objects floating around in there. How do you know there's no diseases? How do you know that virus that now makes everybody have the shits?
because it's in the coconut, the tequila, and that kills everything. So.
Oh yeah. So if I get sick tomorrow, I want everybody to know that Robin has just attempted to poison me. I now have visual evidence that if I turn up dead in my sleep tonight, it will be because Miss Robin is purposely poisoning me just for giving her a bumpty bump earlier today.
That's exactly what. I love how people that are on social media and in the chat rooms in our various locations, our chat rooms are the best chat rooms in the entire world.
Exactly.
Because
even better than some of those porn ones?
Oh, totally.
Okay.
Because the people in there get to know each other, and then they're like, here, Timothy Philip McDevitt is talking to somebody.
Is he Irish? And senior. That's Timothy Philip McDevitt,
Yeah,
senior,
but he's
please.
talking to somebody, and he's saying that he's Philly, but now I'm in Palmyra, close to Hershey. I don't know who he's talking to, but they're having full-on conversations. It's awesome. Joey B says Pat O'Brien and Tony Bruno were TMZ before there was TMZ.
No doubt about it. We were breaking everything out
We should
there.
really have Pat back on the show again.
I don't know what he's doing.
I don't know either.
We should have Harvey Levin on, right? Isn't he the guy that's the TMZ dude?
I have Pat's phone number. I wonder if it still works.
I don't know. I don't want to call him
It's
today.
been years.
I know. I don't want to
years
call him
and
today.
years.
Meanwhile, let's get it back. So what's the Florida update, Robin? You ready to release it right now?
I do. I have the Florida update. Hold on a second.
We don't want any premature releases here.
No premature.
By the way, I hate to rip Elon Musk, but I have to do it.
Uh-oh.
I must rip Elon Musk. And you know me, I think Elon Musk is a genius. I mean, the Tesla, again, he didn't start Tesla. He just took it over and made it better. He didn't start space rockets. He just took it over from NASA and made them better. But now he's doing something right. And this goes back to free speech. You know, the one thing about Elon Musk, everybody was excited when he said he was going to bring free speech back. So what happened? Today, Elon Musk's platform, Twitter, has reinstated woke rules against misgendering and dead-naming transgender people after the dropping of those rules to great fanfare last year. ARS Technica reports today, and I don't know who ARS Technica is, has recently updated its abuse and harassment policy page to include a new section explaining its rules against intentionally using the wrong pronouns for a person or referring to them by a name they no longer use, called dead naming. The new use of prior names and pronouns section states that Twitter will reduce the visibility of posts that incorrectly gender a person or use their old name rather than their new one adopted during transition. So there you have it. Good or, again, abuse of power, Robin. Now, remember, Twitter's free. You don't have to pay to go on it, just like Google.
There's been a bunch of stuff going back and forth, and we don't know if 100% sure that this is happening yet. Elon Musk.
No, the company put this statement out.
They did? The Twitter put X
that
put
Linda
it out?
chick, that Italian chick that he hired, I don't like her.
No.
Even though she's an Italian broad.
No, well, hopefully Elon, because he was the one that put a stop to it to begin with. Hopefully he'll put a stop to it again. Tony.
And again, I have no problem. You don't insult people. You're not supposed to insult people.
But if it's an accident.
But if you don't know what the person's gender is, you think people are. Now, maybe there's some assholes on there, but one of the people that has been cited is Chaya Rasich from Libs of TikTok.
Right. Well, I mean, she
posts videos of these people saying the things they say. But anyway, let's get it back to the phones, Robin.
Tony, we have John Robinson checking in from Havertown. He would like to ask a question about the whole Catherine Herridge situation.
Yes, John, we haven't heard from John in a while. How are you, buddy?
Hey, Tony, how are you? I'm doing great.
Beautiful, man.
Yeah, man. So I heard you talking about the reporter, that they're going after, and seeing all this stuff we're seeing in the political landscape and the media. Is there any time that this may end? Like what course are we on right now?
I don't know. I'm serious. I don't know.
People will eventually stand up. I mean, this is like one story after another, and it's just like eventually something has to happen. You would think
the problem. Can't go on like no, I totally agree with you. The problem is people don't like or trust the media anymore. When you lose the trust, because I still read newspapers, but I go online and read them. Like there's some newspapers I refuse to give a dime to, like the Philadelphia Inquirer. And they always when I look for a story in Philly, because my family's still there, everything's behind a paywall. And if it's an important story, and then they put up a thing right away after I read one story for free that I got to subscribe, I'm not paying them because I don't think they're journalism, because they don't print stories that I find important. They have agendas, and I don't want agendas. Like for San Francisco Chronicle, right? That's another probably left of center newspaper in the Bay Area, but I subscribe to their paper because they have a lot of stories of interest, and it's not all one. There's no sides. They're opinion columnists who give their opinions, and I get it. I know what the opinions are out there. I lived there for 11 years. But to me, when I want to find out facts, like in Macy's stores closing and things like that, I see the headline, I open it up, and I read the story, and I don't have to worry about, paying $6 for a week of reading stories, 2 or 3 stories that I may be interested in. So the bottom line is the media has done this to themselves, because the media is now, it ranks below like politicians people don't trust, and now they trust the media even less.
Tony,
and that's the scary part.
Right.
How would you compare this to the McCarthy era when they were going after people?
Which one? Kevin McCarthy, Tommy McCarthy? There were a lot of McCarthys.
No, but I mean, like the whole communism, everybody was.
I wasn't around during the McCarthy era.
No, but you've studied it.
I was around the first real example of stunning journalism. When I was a young news guy in Philly when I was 21 years old in 1973 was the Watergate investigation. Now, the Vietnam War, I was young, 68. I was just starting to become a teenager. The war was going on. I was against the war back then. But then when I got into the business and was a reporter and a journalist, I had to report on Vietnam almost every day on the air. And then we had the Pentagon Papers. And then we had Watergate, which people today still say was the biggest travesty that ever happened in the United States history. And now 9/11 is, and now January 6th is the newest, biggest thing that ever happened. But the thing about Watergate is that they had 2 reporters who were following sources, and it was a break-in at an apartment complex where the Democrats had their papers, and a couple of weasels break in there and steal the documents, and then that became the biggest scandal in American history. And you remember the 2 guys, Robin, who were the 2 reporters at the Washington Post that won the Pulitzer and have been decorated as the greatest investigative reporters of all time. And there have been a lot of great investigative reporters, but not lately. That was Woodward and Bernstein.
Yes.
Woodward and Bernstein, they're still alive, but they're not covering. They don't seem to be too concerned about what's going on with our government and the spying and the media today. Because they're older, first of all, and I don't think they want to investigate anything. And the younger people, they all want to be opinion writers. They don't want to be journalists who go out and cover stories and find facts and get sources like the Catherine Herridges of the world. And there's a lot of good reporters out there. Don't get me wrong, I'm not denouncing the entire industry. But I'm saying if you try to find an impartial story that is not either far left or far right, you have to basically go walking through a jungle to try to find reliable, trustworthy information that you can say, hey, you know what? Because it has to make sense. It's got to be common sense. And a lot of people have to have a political bent to be able to even talk about a sports story. I mean, I talked about the Aaron Rodgers situation with Pat McAfee. The media hated Pat McAfee because he had Aaron Rodgers on, because the media hated Aaron Rodgers because he was talking about the vaccines and how he didn't like them. So Aaron Rodgers can't have an opinion on the vaccines, but they can hate him for having an opinion on the vaccines and then denounce Pat McAfee and anybody else who had questions about the vaccines. That's the world we've gotten into now. And a lot of these people are in the media. The media drives, even the sports media drives hateful content. They drive narratives about this player or that player or what's going on in locker rooms. And, and that's why people have a really tainted view of any media sources these days, because they don't know who to trust.
Right. Yeah. And you know what I do, Tony? I'm 39. When I was growing up, it's hard for me to remember way back, but even when I was, teens, 20s, I don't remember, people distrusting the media like this. So what I do now with my kids, they're 8 and 5. From when they were, 2 years old, even able to understand anything. I just tell them, look, when you're looking on TV, news, you have to understand that most of it, may not be true. Some of it may be true, but make sure you look at it with your own, mind and your own sense, right? Because I think that's one of the main things we have to do now. People raising kids, you have to let them know from a young age that, look, what you see may not be real. Do some investigating yourself.
Well, I hear you, John, but 8-year-old and 5-year-old kids, they're not going to be able to tell. I remember growing up, it was only a couple stations. I'm older, but we would watch Walter Cronkite. We would watch the guys who were on network television, and we trusted them because they were journalists. They were reporting the facts, and we didn't have all the technology. And now when the kids, they have phones, they have iPads, they're on all these different social media, so they're bombarded. Kids today are bombarded with all kinds of stuff that they're trying to comprehend. And then they were out of school for a year, and they missed school and were stuck inside the house. So a lot of things have changed the way we do anything anymore. But I think the kids, you would think that having technology at your fingertips would make people smarter, but unfortunately it doesn't, because they go onto websites or they go onto news sites or political sites to hear what they want to hear, to find people that they agree with, and instead of thinking things through in a common sense way. And that's the way I've always tried to do what I do, but it's hard now with young kids. How do you tell a young kid what's going on? How do you explain the Catherine Herridge situation? You can't, because kids can't comprehend that a journalist has been basically her stuff confiscated by the government, and the government doesn't have a right to do it. So how do you explain that to some? How do you explain that to a 20-year-old? You can't. It's just so crazy that you don't expect young people. That's why you stay away from that stuff. To keep your kids away from the news, seriously. I mean, you watch local news, it bleeds, it leads. It's always about crime. The two things that local TV stations all over the country, not just in Philly, weather and crime, right? If it's going to rain or snow, or, how's the weekend weather? The first thing people do when they wake up, except here in Florida, and in some places like in San Diego, they don't worry about what the weather's going to be. But in a lot of cities, hey, there may be an inch of snow, everybody goes crazy, right? Down here in Florida, obviously, if there are hurricanes coming, you pay attention to that. Most of the time, we don't pay attention. We look outside and say, yeah, the sun's out. But the two things, crime and weather. Am I wrong, Robin?
No.
In Philly and in cold weather climates, people want to know what the weather is the first thing they wake up. Then they want to know the traffic if they're still driving. And then they want to know, what was the third thing, Robin?
I think that's it.
If how many people have been shot on the subways or in the streets tonight. Or at fires. That's what the local media does. If it bleeds, it leads. That was going on when I worked at WFIL, which was Action News, Channel 6, ABC. That was the motto. If it bleeds, it leads. Because people turn their night, no, I don't think anybody stays up till 11 o'clock to watch the local news anymore. But it's 6 o'clock when they come home. They turn the news on. It's all about people being killed, trains, people on the subways getting shot, all kinds of stuff going on with people coming into the country and kids getting killed. And when you get bombarded with that kind of news every single day, even sports, this guy doesn't like the player. The coach sucks. This guy has to go on WIP radio and explain that he doesn't hate it here because everybody says he hates it here. And so that's the world we live. People want controversy. They're not happy just being chilled out. That's why I listen to Chill all the time.
But Tony, what he was saying and asking.
The great John Robinson.
John, right? He dropped off.
Okay, thank you for calling in, John.
Thank you
Appreciate
for calling
it, man.
But I do have a question because I do not know the answer to this. What happened after the McCarthy era, where people were being prosecuted by the government
because they thought that these were communists infiltrating our government.
But they were way overreaching, and they were prosecuting people that they just didn't like, which sounds a lot familiar. So there was a lot of distrust after that from the American public going, okay, you were going after everybody. How did they gain trust back?
They didn't. The McCarthy era, remember, people only had a couple of TV channels. And the average person back then, they had families to raise. They wanted to make sure they can buy a house, have kids. They wanted the American dream.
So people weren't as aware of
No,
what was going on.
I guarantee you can go into schools right now. You can go into colleges and ask about Joseph McCarthy. And they will have no idea who he is, what he was about. People don't know what happened 10 years ago because we don't care about history unless we're told to care about history. Let's go to Trevor. He's having a conversation at the same time.
And we're going to be able to take his phone call real quick before we have to go to
Trev, you there, man?
Yeah, I'm still here. I'm just enjoying this cloudy Florida day. I got you on the big screen right now. How about that?
Oh, beautiful, man. Can you see my
hold on a second.
My zits?
Before we go any further, Sean Keating would like to apologize to you.
To me?
Trevor, it says, Trevor from the 203. Sorry about our spat back in January of 2021 on the John Kincaid Show.
We had a spat? I don't remember that at all.
Wow, I did not know that.
Well, I'm glad that
I guess I don't know what happened that day, honestly. What happened in 2021? That's all I could say.
I don't remember what happened last week.
Let's just let everything be laying dogs lie, and we won't bring
sleeping dogs, not laying dogs.
Oh.
You're laying dogs lie, and they get up when they want. You have no control.
Sleeping dogs.
Let sleeping dogs lie, Robin.
Let's let that rock go through under the bridge and make sure it goes down the stream. How about that?
Listen, you know me. I love me some John Kincaid. I've known him forever. Great guy. He's been through a lot health-wise. He knows his stuff. And you talk about great hockey guys. Nobody knows more about hockey than John Kincaid. Nobody.
I think he's the best Flyer guy on the flagship of Flyers. That is 97.5 The Fanatic. Anyways, I think he's the only guy that cares about the hockey team. Anyways.
Well, John. Don't forget Jason Martinez. And by the way, Harry Mays, who yesterday was criticized on the show for not doing an Odd G's podcast in a long time. Guess what they did today? Harry Mays and Jason Martinez put up an emergency Odd G's podcast because we had to embarrass them into getting back into action, especially now that your Florida Panthers have 40 points out of nowhere. The Florida Panthers and the New York Rangers are the two best teams in the NHL.
And guess who's playing them next week in South Florida? Your team, your town, your Philadelphia Flyers. Let's raise some havoc in there, make it sound like a spectrum anyway. That's what I like to say.
Oh, man, I love me some. We getting close to playoff hockey action, yo. Hockey
I know. I will say this as someone who likes to keep an eye on the Western Conference.
Yep.
That Central Division between the Colorado Avalanche, the Winnipeg Jets, and the Dallas Stars. That is the most entertaining race for first place right now.
Yeah, and the Avalanche, how great are they? And, we talked about McKinnon, and he's got two back-to-back 100-point seasons. I mean, there's so many good young players now. And then people who don't follow it, like I don't know all the players in the NHL like I used to, because I got a lot of other stuff going on. But I tell you right now, the young crop of players in the NHL right now from all over the world, there's a lot of future superstars coming up right now.
I personally like watching the Dallas Stars. I like Miro Heiskanen, who was part of that 2018 draft. He is an impressive Finnish defenseman. I
I think
say.
he's listening. I think that's his family listening to the show in Finland. They're probably heard that we talk hockey on the show, and that we're Dallas Star fans. By the way, the Dallas Stars, are they the only good team in Dallas right now? I mean, the Mavs. No, the Mavs are okay. They're not super
the Mavs
great.
Are all right, but I'm not trying to be a biased person. I was there a couple of weeks ago. The Dallas Stars probably have a better fan base in the Metroplex area. I like to say that's more locally grown and everything. I will say that for sure. Anyways,
absolutely.
Yes. Absolutely.
Who do you like tonight, though? Who do you like tonight? You got Flyers and Washington Capitals.
Oh, the Caps. C-A-P-S. Caps. The thing is, the Caps can only score more than 3 goals. I kind of like the under. I like the Flyers 3-1. How about that?
There you have it. I'm going to lock it in for you. Trevor?
Also, take the Devils side also, by the way.
The Devils out there, and they're out on the coast, a late-night game. Are they not?
I know.
They're
in Anaheim at the pond, the Arrowhead Pond they're at.
Damn right, man. You like the Devils to beat the not-so-mighty Ducks?
Yeah, I will take them to beat the Mighty Ducks, and who cares about the early game anyway? The Coyotes and the Sens, no one cares about that game, by the way.
Come on, man. Trevor in the 203, man. Have a great weekend, brother. Thanks for
Trevor
checking.
in Fort Lauderdale, enjoy your weekend.
I'll see you in Fort Lickerdale, man. I'll see you in Fort Lickerdale at what's it called? Spring break, baby. I'll be handing out fake IDs. I'll be handing out fake IDs to all the good-looking young women who look close to 23. If they look close to 21, I'm going to present and be selling age 23 IDs because in Fort Lauderdale, they're going to charge. They want to know that you're 23 years old before you'll get a drink in a bar, and I'm going to help these young people.
Can we make sure we do it during a Bad Boys 2 filming session? They're doing it right now on A1A right now. Let's do that. They're going to pay us for a cameo.
All right, Trev, we got to run. We got a hard break coming here, man. Have a good weekend, brother. There he is, the great Trevor in the 203, 305. And what's his new area code? I always get me confused with those Florida area codes, Robin. What are they? I forget.
Oh, it's not up there anymore.
Damn it. That's all right. I don't know my area code either. We're coming right back. Is the great... What's his name coming on?
Yes, the great what's his name?
The great what's his name?
Who the fuck is that guy? The great Luigi coming up next.
Exactly right. Stick around the big 5 o'clock hour, and I'm already feeling the effects of this. Not just the 1800 tequila, but the debris floating in there that was probably handled.
That was extra.
That was probably handled by about 1,000 people before it went into my glass right now. So if I die, you'll know what happened, folks. Stick around. We're coming right back. Big 5 o'clock hour.
It was meant to be. Tony Bruno on the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
There's a big, bold flavor to the West. A heritage built by strong men with a zest for life and a taste for adventure. That's the West. Big, bold, untamed. That's the taste of Big Red chewing gum. Big, bold, untamed. Big Red, the gum with the tall taste that refreshes in a different way, that makes your mouth come alive. Big Red. Chew the gum called Big Red with a bold, clean bite and the big, strong flavor that's bound to hit you right. Big Red. Chew the gum called Big Red that's apart from the rest, that captures the spirit of the big Wild West. Big Red. Make Big Red your brand.
Ladies and gentlemen, you've been waiting, and now it's here. TBSN, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Make some noise!
The Tony Bruno Sports Network. Download the app. Tell your friends the game is on. TBSN.
That is so not it. Hold on. Hold on. Oh, wait. That was two things playing at the same time. What the hell is going on with our audio? Dude, I'm not even going to try to play that. I'm just going to go with this one. That one's fine.
Yeah, here we go. All right, baby, now we're ready to go.
Luigi, keep dialing. I didn't have a chance to pick it up. Jeez.
Luigi.
You're so impatient. There we go.
Son of a bitch.
There you are.
There we go.
Son
Now
of
it's
a
working. Yeah, now it's working.
bitch.
That was weird.
Yeah, baby.
Let's take it down real low one time.
Yeah, real low, real low.
Real low.
I was trying to play the Vafanculo song for you, but
The remix, we couldn't find it.
well,
That's okay.
you need to send me the one that you're talking about.
You could start. You could play whatever the hell you want. Surprise me. It's
Well,
fun
I
when you
can
surprise me.
go
It's fun.
back to the Tarantella song that I used to have on my phone.
No, please, let's please never do that ever again. All right, let's please.
By the way, I see.
Tony, sometimes.
Yes, I'm going. Go ahead.
Sometimes you just can't go back. You know. Sometimes
That's what they
you just
say.
Can't go
That's
back.
what they say. Now, the one big story today I see is, I always look at trending topics, and I saw Five Guys. Five Guys is trending today, and I want to say Five Guys is in trouble, but things are so bad financially, they had to get rid of two of them. It's now three guys. That's how bad things have gotten there, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Well, is this it?
Yeah.
Mesopotamia and Marco Mancini.
Yeah. No.
Is this
Just
it?
Play whatever you want.
Hold on. No, this isn't it.
So let me get it back to the
All right.
to the Five Guys. Now you've been
You know
to
what
Five
you
Guys,
say,
right?
Joe, you say it's five guys, right? But I heard it's so bad it's now down to three guys and two guys are part time.
No, but yeah, people are posting their receipts now because all you have to do is go outside. And again, this is not a political statement. You go get a burger now, right? And somebody went into a Five Guys and ordered a bacon cheeseburger.
Uh-huh.
He didn't wash it down with one beer. He didn't do all those
Not
other
two
things.
beers.
Not two
three
beers.
beers.
First of all, you couldn't afford to do all the things that Stone Cold said, right? Isn't that who did it?
You know what we should do?
Right.
We should do the national average of what it would cost Stone Cold to order that today.
You're absolutely right. You're no more
like the
dollar
cost of
dogs
margarita.
no more dollar dogs. They're $2.50 a piece now because dollar dogs are bad, but $2.50 dogs are much better. And then so Five Guys, guy goes in and he posts his receipt. Burger, and it says little fries and a small drink with tax, and he left a $2 tip. You know how much that was, Robin? One burger, and it even says little fries.
Yeah.
Not small fries.
Not little.
Little fries.
$16.
No, how about $24?
I'd like to go to
$24 for a bacon, and they're not monstrous. You know that. And listen,
No,
I don't want to
no.
single out Five Guys, but it's that's what we're paying
now
now
is
for a
it-
hamburger.
Now, is that a Five Guys
Listen.
in California or a Five Guys somewhere else? Where is it?
Yeah.
Just look
The
up.
last time
Go
last
ahead.
time Tony singled out Five Guys, he was picking out a lineup. That's the last time that happened.
Oh,
Are we live right now, by the way?
Yes,
We're
you
live.
Are. You are live.
Oh shit! We didn't even come back. There's no music, no hi. Hi everybody.
That's what I was trying to do because, and then the audio sounded really crappy, so I just brought you live.
Oh.
so a lot
I
of people
thought we
are
were just
posting
having
their
a
receipts.
conversation.
Luigi. Yeah, we're on
thought
the
we were
air,
having a
man. What do you think
No,
we
it's
do?
nice
Dress
like that.
rehearsals on this show?
Nah, Luigi, your family, so there's not a lot of pomp and circumstance. Oh, whoops, I didn't mean to do that.
You don't even have to ring the doorbell. You just walk right in.
So I even
Yeah.
posted a photograph of you.
Eating a Five Guys?
No.
Oh, is that you? Look, I thought you had a hat on. I see gray.
Wait, what am I doing?
That's your
Wait,
backdrop.
What do you have me photographed doing with Five Guys? What exactly is it again?
This is a photograph.
Sure.
I think there was one girl sitting in a couch, and then you were one of the Five Guys
No.
standing behind her.
This is a
Yeah,
picture.
that was my only fan, by the way. Not only that was my only fan.
This was a photograph of Luigi back in the day when we were doing shows in the wine cellar in South Philly.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the cats must have just laid a deuce behind him underneath the stairs. And so Luigi is covering up his face. And
That's right.
And he has like his T-shirt over his face and you're in front of the microphone.
the best I've ever sounded, the best I've ever looked. It's everything. What? Can we screen this first? Do I get to say any of this?
Yeah, well, I was trying to find a photograph really fast, and that one popped up, and I thought it was funny.
That's the one you. Okay, do me a favor. Take just like half a second more. Half a second more. Next time. That's all.
All right, so I'm looking
Just
at this
half a second.
receipt, so I don't know what state it is. But
You're still on this receipt?
One bacon cheeseburger. I like it. It says $12.49 for a bacon cheeseburger. Not a double, just a regular. And bacon zero because the ketchup they don't charge you for the ketchup. One regular soda, $2.89. One little fry, $5.19. Subtotal $20.57. Sales tax $1.34. Total order $21.91. And then this guy leaves a $2.16 tip, $24.10. Now, is it necessary to tip when somebody's just serving you something in a bag when you walk in?
I don't feel that it's necessary to tip the person who's taking your order and then just handing you the food that someone else made. If you're gonna tip somebody, like I'm almost like tip the cooking staff. Like that's who you should be cooking.
Go back in the kitchen and you say, "Hey, here's a dollar. Here's one. Here's a dollar."
They get a part of it though. Like every time I've ever waitressed, you have to
But not
divide.
not in a burger joint.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
Not in a
No,
burger
the bus
joint, Robin.
boys, the servers, the bus boys, things like that, like that. Those people get a percentage. The cooks, they get zero.
But don't usually the cooks get paid more though too? Like they get paid a normal
Robin,
salary
most
where
cooks make about $7.50 to $9 an hour in a kitchen.
well, back in my day, the wait staff, we would get paid like half of minimum wage.
Right, but you would make tips, meaning you would make about $140 a night. That person's making about $78.
You're not getting
Think
this
about
kind of breakdown for all you service workers out
Waiters
there.
and waitresses make tons of more money than a cook does.
Well, and I agree.
Tons
The
of more
cook, the
money.
cook should definitely get some of that.
Damn right.
No, what I mean, and no, listen, don't get me wrong. The servers are so crucial to a business.
Yep.
Because if you have shit service, you're not going to have any business. And they are running around like crazy. They are the face. They are the hospitality end of the restaurant. So yes, they absolutely deserve to be tipped as much as possible, taken care of as much as possible down the line. However, the cooks get zilch. The cooks are also responsible for getting they're the ones that get your food out quick.
Yep.
They make sure the order is right, so that way you don't have to bring it back, because then you have to explain to a customer what happened, and then you get a bad tip. So the cooks are just as important as the front of house.
Absolutely.
Just say.
Absolutely.
Because
Absolutely.
They're there to eat too. They're there to eat too. They're not just there to see fucking, Jenny. Okay? Even though she's got a nice rack. I hear it. But
Exactly.
I get it.
All right, now let's get it back to sports because let's get it back to sports. Did we have it to sports at all? Now, we
Well,
talked earlier
Philly-
about the combine, and I know you're a big guy. I know you have your charts out. You're checking all the 40 times, and how
Of
much
course,
guys
Tony.
can
Of course.
how much guys can deadlift. But we were talking about the Caleb Williams, not giving his medical records, and everybody knows he's going to go to the Bears with the number 1 pick. Is there any doubt about that?
1,000%.
And now the Falcons, the Atlanta Falcons, reportedly, because Justin Fields has been linked to a bunch of teams, but Justin Fields is going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's another lock, right?
Yeah, I think Tomlin does him a lot of good, and I think that's probably the safest landing spot for Justin Fields.
And remember when Justin Fields was working out, who was there giving him major love?
Mike Tomlin.
Exactly right. And so now they're saying that the Falcons don't even want Justin Fields. They want Kirk Cousins. So if you're the Atlanta Falcons, you're going to take Kirk Cousins or Justin Fields in a trade?
I'm taking Kirk Cousins. And
I
the
agree.
reason why is
not because
Kirk
I don't
Cousins
like
is really
Justin
gonna-
Fields. I think
No,
because Kirk
nothing.
Cousins is already has the whole package.
This has nothing to do with anything. I love Justin Fields. I mean, if you talk to anybody I've talked to, even talk to Trevor, who just called in earlier. And by the way, I'm never following hockey talk ever again. Don't do that to me. That's
How
ridiculous.
dare you, man? I'm talking serious pucks here.
I'm
We're
not-
talking
I know,
Florida
I get it.
Panther and the New York
The Florida
Rangers.
Panther. Yeah, I know.
You
the
see if you
Carolina
ever get on
Hurricanes.
Harry Mays and Martinez's Aw Geez podcast, pal.
Yeah, like I give a shit about that podcast. No, it's not my bag, dude. I'm sure they do a great job, but it's not my bag. I'm sorry.
Can't believe you, man.
It's not. They're gonna listen to what I say, so why listen to what they say? I love Harry, but I don't care.
Ridiculous.
It's the truth. But the thing is with Justin Fields is that he's a great player, and I think he's electric, and I think under the right tutelage, I think he'd be fantastic. So Tomlin's a great spot. As far as Atlanta saying if they had their druthers, they're going to take, which they do, they're going to take Kirk Cousins. It's a no-brainer. That team is in a division that's, aside from Tampa, that's the only competition they really have. The Saints are going south, and the Panthers suck. You look at the team that's built around. They have a stud tight end in Kyle Pitts, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have nice weapons outside. They have 2 good running backs. They have a young offensive line, but it's played much better. They have an opportunity to actually do something. Like they can. Like Kirk Cousins, even if they don't go to playoffs or win playoff games, Kirk Cousins will help so much in development of that offense and the players around it than Justin Fields could ever do.
Yeah, the Vikings the local media in Minnesota, they're saying that they don't get the sense of a hometown discount for Kirk Cousins to go back to the Vikings because he's got so many people that want him, and his market value is so high right now. Wouldn't it be bad business for him not to see what's out there?
1,000%, Tony, and you know this too. At this stage of the game, this is the last big contract for him.
Yep.
Like it's not saying like if he gets a 2 or 3 year deal, that's not to say he can't play until he's 40 or try to play until he's 40. But at the same time, the dollars won't be there. So this is a time for him where he's the hottest commodity out there as far as quarterbacks go. So why not strike while the iron's hot? Because this only happens once, and he would be a fool to do that. He would be a fool not to do that. How about another? Not a conspiracy. How about if I throw something out there that a lot of people are floating around? How about if he goes back to the Washington Commanders? No, he's not going there. There's not a chance. Could you imagine? I think you would see Tim Rattay go back to the Washington Kirk Cousins. Could you imagine? They make the joke. They make the joke about the Cleveland Browns having like the revolving door of quarterbacks, Tony, for 15, 20 years, whatever it was. The Generals aren't exactly that far behind.
Exactly. And now another name out there. And now another name out there floating around. Free agent quarterback Baker Mayfield. Guess who's apparently digging on Baker Mayfield? Your New England Patriots.
Yeah, listen, it doesn't surprise me, man. I mean, that guy's a winner, man. And he's a good player. And I mean, if you look at it, the first couple of years, he was hurt. He got hurt when he was in Cleveland. But again, it was Cleveland, and they were just a disaster to begin with. But then he floats around a little bit, goes to the Rams, then he comes back, goes to Tampa, and now he had 2 years in Tampa. He learns under Tom. He takes the reins by himself, and he's healthy. And the thing is, whatever you can say, whatever you want about Baker and his stature, how tall he is and everything like that. He's got good arm strength, whatever. His teammates buy into him, man. They love him.
Yeah.
They love him. They play for him. I mean, look at the relationship him and Mike Evans had immediately.
Oh, absolutely.
You got another guy like Chris. Here's another thing. You got another guy like Chris Godwin, right? Who was a Pro Bowl wide receiver in his own right. That guy he's a fantastic player. His what the hell's the word I'm looking for? His not his contribution.
I don't know what you're saying because I'm a little buzzed with the 1800 tequila, man. Robin poured me some damn 1800 with a tainted lime, with a tainted, filthy, dirty lime.
It's working,
tainted
isn't
lime.
it?
I saw them.
Did you see?
Lime. I saw them for the Counting Crows. No, his contribution went way down because they fed Mike Evans like crazy. They started running the ball because they finally got a running back there. And he didn't complain. Why? Because Baker held that offense together. He got everyone to buy in.
Absolutely. You're absolutely right. The Buccaneers fans are going to be the first to tell you that.
The Buccaneers need to re-sign Baker Mayfield because he had that team playing as good as they played since Tom was there. You don't just I don't know, man. That guy had, I wouldn't say a resurgence of a career. I think he finally found a place where his career could begin. And
I don't know what the
I think
cap
it'll be
say. I
good.
don't know what the cap situation is for the Bucks, and obviously the cap went up, so these teams have an extra $30 million to play with now. So that's going to help too with some of these guys when you're trying to decide if you're going to go the extra little distance to try to get a guy that you want. You know what I'm saying? But that's what makes football. That's what makes football the sport you can talk about all year long, man.
But here's the thing, though, right? When you look at Tampa, right, you have a team that's still relatively a young team too, right? For the most part, Mike Evans is a little bit older, but aside from that, still a relatively young team. If you subtract Baker Mayfield, who do you bring in right now that's going to give you what he gave you, like to be able to compete for a division title, to get to a freaking NFC Championship game, and almost win it? By the way, I'm sorry, an NFC divisional game. I'm sorry.
I don't know. I'm a little too baked right now, man. I mean, and blame Robin, man. Blame Robin.
Is this seriously affecting you that much?
She poured me an 1800. I'm not a big tequila guy, but this is a quality tequila. You know the 1800, right? The coconut.
Is it the coconut?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she put a tainted lime in my coconut, and now I'm baked, not fried.
As he continues to sip from it.
And I'm sipping this. I'm not down in this. You know, like a drunken chick on a Saturday night in South Philadelphia at one of those bars.
Tainted Lime is a very good
Tainted
band
Love
name.
is even better, man.
It's a great name for a band.
Tainted Lime.
Okay, we don't have to talk. We don't have to talk sports anymore. We just shoot the shit. It's fine.
Well, that's what we're doing. We're doing a combo mambo. So you take a sip
I'm
of your
doing
drink.
it.
No, we talk some football, and then I go back to my drink, and then start thinking, should I just shoot this, so to speak? I mean, you're supposed to. Is this a sipping tequila or is this a downing tequila?
It's a sipping. I mean, anything is a sipping thing. I mean, if you down it, then you down it. It's just like any book is a children's book if the kid can read. Like, what the fuck? Like,
You know what we have to do, though, Luigi? I think now that you brought up a scientific equation, because this is a show about science, we
And we
need
do
to
like
get
science.
we need to get the Stone Cold riff. You have it, but I don't have it. It is available on the internet?
Yes. Hold
Stone
on.
Cold
the
Steve
Stone
Austin.
Cold riff, yeah.
Stone Cold riff.
I can. Yeah, it's order a jalapeno. It's a jalapeno
Yeah,
burger.
yeah.
Order a jalapeno burger. What? A chicken fried sandwich.
Now, do you know it? Do you know it all by heart?
Hold on, I'm trying to think. A chicken fried sandwich. Tater tots.
No, we should do it and stop it down. Oh, here.
Or do you want Booker T?
Oh, here
so
it
while I
comes.
was trying to make that decision,
Here we go.
I drove over to the Sonic Drive-In.
Sonic
ordered a
Drive-In.
jalapeno burger,
Jalapeno burger. Stop
a
it.
chicken fried steak sandwich.
Wait a minute. So we got. Wait, Robin, stop it each time. A jalapeno burger.
A chicken fried steak sandwich.
Chicken fried. I
Right,
didn't know
with
they
the-
had that at Sonic. Chicken fried steak sandwich. Okay, continue.
Chili cheese dog with extra
A
onions.
chili cheese
chili
dog with
cheese-
extra onion.
A chili cheese dog.
With extra onions.
I got to write this down. I can't remember the shit. Extra onions. I don't think they're extra though. You have to pay. No, I think they throw that in still at this hour.
Yeah, the onions. The onions fine. It's free.
Okay. Ready?
Yes.
French fries.
French fries.
French fries.
Small, medium, or
He
large.
didn't-
Hold on.
But
let's
he
see.
didn't say. So
He didn't say.
He
Hang
didn't
on.
say. So we're gonna go. We're gonna go in the middle. We'll say medium.
Medium. Okay.
Because he didn't distinguish the
Tater
french fries.
tots.
Tater tots.
Tater
Well, that's a
tots.
lot of. That's a lot of. What do you call
Potatoes.
starch? Tater tots.
Washed it down with one beer.
One beer.
Wash it down with one
One
beer.
beer.
2 beers.
2 beers.
3 beers.
3 beers.
A shot of whiskey.
Hang on, I got 3 beers. Shot of
A
whiskey.
shot of whiskey.
Shot of whiskey. That could be cheap shit, or is he? He's not going cheap shit, right? He's not going bar, right?
Yeah, I don't think he's going cheap shit.
Okay.
I don't think Steve Austin's drinking turpentine. I'm pretty sure about that.
All right, what else?
A margarita.
Margarita.
A margarita
Margarita.
and a Bloody Mary.
Are you
And
sure?
a Bloody Mary.
Wow, that's great knowledge, man. You know you're stone cold. You know why? Because Stone Cold says so.
No, because we played it 12,000 times. That's why.
What was after the margarita?
A Bloody Mary.
Oh, Bloody Mary. That's
Now we
right.
gotta- So now we got to get.
Hold on.
So now we
Is that
gotta
the
do-
end?
No, it's not quite the end yet. I don't
Wait,
think.
hold on, man. Hold on. What about dessert?
Bloody Mary.
Uh-huh.
Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
And I said, Stone Cold, why have
That's
one
it.
when you can have them both?
There you go.
All right. So what you need to do is
Go to the
if
store,
you
go to the
ever-
bar, go
No,
over
you
to
just
Publix.
Go online and you Google national average price for a chicken steak fried sandwich. You know what I mean? Like, that's all.
Okay.
Chicken fried steak
Or actually,
sandwich.
it's on Sonic's
Can we
menu.
come back with this on Monday, or do
Yeah,
we,
yeah, we need to work on
Yeah,
this.
this is something.
Listen, I am in no condition right now to
do
go
math.
looking for stinking prices of sandwiches.
Unless somebody that is in online and is watching and listening would like to do that for us and let us know how much that would
Well,
cost.
I'll tell you right now, a chili cheese dog's going to set you back about $7.
No, where?
Several
What about a
places online.
jalapeno burger?
I'm already ahead of you, cuz.
What's a jalapeno? Are we going to do math on this show?
No, we're not. You know what
No,
we're going to do?
I'm going to do that.
You know what we're going to do now?
What are we going to do right now?
We are going to go to Florida.
Oh, we got to go to
We have
Florida.
a Florida update.
We're already here. We're here. Where's Dave? Dave's not here. Let's go to the Florida update desk, and your correspondent is Robin.
$15.49, dude.
Yeah, I told you.
For a jalapeno burger, $15.49.
I just told you about Five Guys, man. You're not getting a burger for under $15. I'm talking about just a regular hamburger. I'm not talking about the big, gigantic, good ones where you go into these places and there's like a half a pound fresh beef. You know what I'm saying? All right, let me go. Let's go to Florida, Robin. Can you bring my machine up, please?
Oh.
I got to stop and do it again, Robin. You see me getting angry at her today?
Mm-hmm. Uh-huh.
Down to Florida. We welcome you to the Sunshine State. They're kicking back
And soaking up the rays every day in Florida. Now, ladies and gentlemen, let me go over there to that resident's desk. And you're up there with that Miss Robin chick.
Let's go to Naples, Florida. Right down.
Hey, I know where that is.
It's right down the road from us.
There, Tony.
No, it's not there. It's about 25. By the way, Lily's enjoying. Look at Lily chilling this afternoon, man. She's right in her pink, little pink pad. Look at that. Look at her. All right, let's get it back to the update, Robin. Bring the music up,
Now,
please.
we have spoken before about python hunts
Yes.
that they have down here. Well, the University of Collier County.
There's a University of Collier County?
Well, it's Collier County. Anyway,
What?
it's somebody.
What?
It's somebody down
What?
there.
Can you
Some
repeat what you just said?
I'm channeling
Joe
my inner-
Biden is more lucid than you now.
Tony just went hillbilly right there. He's like, can you repeat what you just said?
Okay, let me start over again. I think I'm starting to get affected
All
by
right, let's take it from the top now. Let's go back to
no,
Florida.
we don't have to do that again. Jesus Christ. Okay. So we have
So messed
to.
up.
Okay,
You
everybody
guys are
quiet.
drunk. I'm
Everybody
sober.
quiet. Don't interrupt me because I'm having a hard enough time with this anyway. We
your
have
mouth, keep
talked
it shut.
about the Florida python hunts already.
Well, I show my
Right?
pythons every day.
Exactly.
If you ask me. You know?
Well, Luigi, you would appreciate this because it is now mating season for python. It is python mating season.
Oh, baby. Slip
And-
it right on up in here, baby.
We have been.
Why would I like this?
The Conservancy of Southwest Florida's decade-long battle to remove the invasive snakes, pythons,
She's a cold-hearted snake, too.
have
right.
implemented
I'm
a
more of an
program
anaconda myself.
where they implant male pythons. They implant a little
What did they put in him?
a signal,
Signal?
and then they set the males free to scout for them. So they let them back out in the wild, and then these males during mating season.
They turn gay?
No,
Oh.
during mating season, they form these what they call mating balls.
Balls?
Yes.
Do they go balls to the wall?
Yes, they do,
I
and it
went
is
to a
like.
mating ball once. I went to a mating ball once. It was fucking crazy in there. It was out of control.
Well, this is insane. Get this.
Was there a picture?
No, there's no picture.
Oh, I
Well,
wanna
actually-
see this
actually,
python
Yes,
ball.
I take that back. There is a picture. Hold
Let
on.
me see this sons of bitches.
Hold on. Let me go. I have to get rid of Luigi's photograph and then put this over here.
Were
and,
any of the pythons named Monty? Ask me first. Just
well,
ask me first.
there is actually, they have some really great names for the two guys that they implanted. Hold on a second.
They named the
there's
snakes?
one named George, and then there's
There's another one
another. No. There's
another one named Epstein. by any
No,
chance?
it's awesome. Hold on, I have to find it.
George and who?
Penny.
Not George and Wheezy.
Not George and Weezy.
George
No,
and
no.
Histopher.
Histopher.
So here is the one mating ball. This is a mating ball of pythons.
How many pythons in a mating ball?
In this particular one, so let me tell you.
Make it bigger, Robin. I want to see them balls.
Okay.
Do they have big
How
balls in
many
that?
pythons come inside a ball?
There we go.
Holy shit, that's a big ball.
That is a big ass
That's
ball.
that's not a
and that wasn't even
meatball.
the biggest one. So what they've done is they implanted the males with trackers, and then they let them go off.
Trackers.
And then the males, the females leave off a scent, and then all the males in the surrounding area are attracted to it, and then they are able to track these.
You know what?
So
That's
they
what
use
I'm doing
sex.
From now on. For all, that's what I'm going to do from now on. For all these men out there, these women who say like, "Oh, this guy's stalking me," I'm like, "No, he's tracking you." There's a
That's
difference.
exactly.
There's
So
a difference.
So
This
get
is called
this.
recon. This
They
is
put
called
trackers.
recon, okay?
In 2013, the Conservancy put trackers in 110
Penny,
pythons and followed their movements. But then they realized that when it's during mating season, it's actually even more beneficial because they can then go out while they're in a mating frenzy and they're so paying attention to each other that they're not even trying to get away. And they were able to catch 11 snakes that was over 500 pounds of snake.
That's some good eating right there, yo.
500
I don't know about you,
pounds
Tony. I
of
don't know about
snake.
you, man. But I could never date a snake. That's just me. That's just me, though. These guys, they got no morals. They don't care.
They don't have balls.
Can't trust them.
Right.
Can't
But
trust them. Robin, where exactly did you find this article?
It is on the Miami Herald.
That's
cool.
a real
I'm, like, done
newspaper
with it.
down there over
newspaper.
here in Miami.
I'm
So-
done with the outdoors. I'm done with it. I'm fucking
George,
done with it.
so here, George led them to a mating ball, which included two males of around 45 pounds each and a 16-foot, 125-pound female that had a clutch of 48 eggs.
Dude.
Hey, Tony, at
Yes.
the mating ball, you think they had a band or a DJ?
That's a good one. And I think they're going to go DJ. You can't have live
Yeah,
bands.
go DJ, right?
Yeah, you got to have a DJ.
Histopher, however,
Histopher.
brought them to an even bigger ball. It was only about an hour later. It was a mating ball, a writhing mound of pythons that was 7 feet wide with heads and tails in every direction.
Oh, man.
And it had beautiful hair.
They only got 11 of them. You know how many pythons are out there? How many trackers do they have to put in these sons of bitches?
Apparently, though, that they're going to do, because it was so successful this year, that they're
How much does each one of them trackers cost? And can I get one?
I don't know. Oh, you want to
Right.
implant? Well, who are you going to implant?
I don't know. I'll just have all these freaky chicks from all over the country down here in Florida come and track me. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, I
I'll
see.
say, hey, I got your python right here, baby. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
Tony, it'll be like the old Nielsen system. Tony just put it up on an oscillating fan somewhere. You can walk out the door.
Mickey Delaney wants to know, can you watch these snakes getting off? So if there's no women there and it's just male snakes.
No, you missed it.
the
You're
weirdest
not
question I've ever
listening.
But you
They
said you put the things in the male snakes.
and then the males
See, like,
track
here's
them
the thing,
to
ready?
the
Here's the
women.
thing.
The males track what to the
everything-
women?
They've
The males have things
everything
stuck in
we
their
just talked about-
pubic area.
and then they go and they find the women. They find the females.
Listen,
How many
listen,
snakes does each
that's it.
female? How many females does each snake track? Just one?
Yes.
What's
don't know-
wrong? I
don't
mean,
know,
that's
Tony.
stupid.
If a train leaves Chicago on Wednesday, all I know is that we said a lot of weird shit, right? Like a lot of weird stuff, and it was funny and everything like that. But Mickey Delaney made it very strange when he said, "Is there anywhere to watch these things get off?" Like, that's fucking, that's next level.
You've never seen snake porn?
I'm sure that you can find a snake ball, a mating snake ball, if you look on YouTube. I bet you I could find one.
I prefer a nice meatball with the three meats. You got to put
Tom,
you got to
by the
put
way,
pork. You got to, people now they're just selling in the supermarkets here.
Pork, veal, and beef, dude.
Right.
You got to get the pork, the veal, and the beef.
But here they just sell pork meatballs in the supermarkets.
No,
It's
I
an
can't- I
outrage.
can't mess with that, dude.
By the way,
You
I
gotta
have
have
to
the-
play
you gotta
this.
have
I
the
haven't
balance.
heard this. I got breaking news here. Now, this Fannie Willis trial, right, in Atlanta. And I don't care about the trial or what happens with her. But apparently the lawyer for Fannie Willis, the DA down there in Atlanta, who was supposed to prosecute Trump and now has her own shit going on, the guy who is the lawyer for the defendant, Fannie Willis, apparently studied under John Gibbons. And you know who John Gibbons is,
No,
Luigi?
who's John Gibbons?
John Gibbons.
No.
He
Give me
was
a hint. Give me one little hint.
one of the most famous movies with lawyers involved in history.
Show The Scent of a Woman?
No.
No. Philadelphia?
Let me play it and then tell me who this lawyer is. You ready? All right, you going to bring
Oh,
this
My
up?
Cousin Vinny.
Exactly right. Now, I want Luigi's a big My
But just
Cousin.
really quick,
It's
I-
one
I'll
of the
be-
greatest movies ever made, right?
Really quick, because we were asking that.
There's the snakes writhing and convulsing. It looks like me at a party I went to in L.A. on my Moroccan bench one night.
That, if you were watching on YouTube, etc., that was a snake.
Snake
that was
ball.
a garter snake mating ball.
I love when they wear the garters, man. It's sexy. Comes all the way up to their upper thigh. You know what I mean? They got those things holding them up. But anyway, let's go to this lawyer. Does this guy sound like the guy in My Cousin Vinny?
What I would say is misstates the law as it relates to what's the law, what is required in order for an elected district attorney and their office to be disqualified. And what I would submit to the court is... Let's go back to that. Show me that. Yes.
The guy's reading it off a computer screen.
Decided was valid versus state.
Okay, we can't hear anything he's saying. It's
I know.
very horrible.
Everybody
It's
keeps
horrible
saying
audio.
the guy sounds like the lawyer in My Cousin Vinny. It sounds nothing like him.
My line from there is because I'll play this. I used to play the sound drop on the board all the time. Was everything that guy just said was bullshit.
Yep.
Thank you.
Now, Luigi, did you hear what Fannie Willis, her phone name was set to for?
Yeah, we
her
talked
lover?
about it yesterday,
Did
Rob.
you hear that?
No.
I don't know if Luigi heard it.
She was known as
So when she would call, the name that would show up on her lover's phone would be the following: Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal. When
And
you
I
go
told
out
Tony-
tonight, you got to find
I
yourself a
told
girl.
Tony I'm very upset because I don't have a term of endearment like that when I call him.
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'd have went ape shit. Personally, that's just me. Though.
Exactly. All right, now let me play you the real
Gorilla
scene real
Grip.
quick.
All
Now
right.
this is the real lawyer.
Yeah, seriously.
You ready?
That's a hell of a name.
Listen
I
to this
know,
now.
right?
Listen. Here we go.
Wait.
Tune-ups, oil changes, brake relining, engine rebuilds, rebuild some trannies, rear end.
Okay. But does being an ex-mechanic necessarily qualify you as being an expert on tire models?
No, it doesn't.
No. Thank you. Goodbye.
Sit down and stay there until you're told to leave.
Your Honor, Ms. Vito's expertise is in general automotive knowledge. It is in this area that her testimony will be applicable. Now, if Mr. Trotter wishes to voir dire a witness as to the extent of her expertise in this area, I'm sure he's going to be more than satisfied.
Okay.
All right.
Hi. Hi.
Now, Ms. Vito.
Vito?
Being an expert on general automotive knowledge, can you tell me what would the correct ignition timing be on a 1955 Bel Air Chevrolet with a 327 cubic inch engine and a 4-barrel carburetor?
It's a bullshit question.
Does that mean that you can't answer it?
It's a bullshit question. It's impossible to answer.
Impossible because you don't know the answer.
Nobody could answer that question.
Your Honor, I move to disqualify Ms. Vito as an expert witness.
Can you answer the question?
No, it is a trick question.
Why is it a trick question?
Watch this.
Because Chevy didn't make a 327 in 55. The 327 didn't come out till 62. And it wasn't offered in the Bel Air with a 4-barrel carb till 64. However, in 1964, the correct ignition timing would be 4 degrees before top dead center.
Well, she's acceptable, Your Honor.
Is that not one of the greatest courtroom movies ever?
It is. It is.
Exactly.
Hey, Luigi, I'm assuming you're staying past the break. I just need to do a quick station identification.
Where you going tonight, man? What's up?
I made some cutlets,
Chicken cutlets?
Not Tommy. I made some cutlets. Yeah, I was pounding them out.
Pound it,
And
baby.
then, yeah, man. And then
That sounds
throw out some
delicious.
dinner. I made some dinner for some people. So
We are
For
having
some people?
wine braised
Someone.
raviolis.
Someone.
Wine
Yes.
braised pork. No, what is it? What are we having? Short rib. Wine braised short rib
Oh,
raviolis.
nice.
Yes.
Robin, I have a jar as tall as you full of blue cheese olives right now. If that tells you anything about what I'm doing tonight.
Oh, I know exactly
Yeah.
what you're doing, bon chicken. Wah,
What's her name?
wah.
Right.
What's her name?
I'd like the voir dire, the witness. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Okay, we're gonna be right back.
Where we going? No problem. Come back.
All right.
Nowhere, bro.
Come back now.
Come back.
Cried together. Said we cried,
It was meant to be. Tony Bruno on the Tony Bruno's.
Bud Light presents Real Men of Genius.
Real men of genius.
Today we salute you, Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver Outer.
Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver Outer.
Your tireless efforts keep our feet comfy and sanitized with mountain freshness.
Mountain freshness.
Instinctively, you match left shoe with right, carefully placing each pair in its own tiny shoe house.
Check the number on the back.
One wrong move, and we're on the fast train to Blisterville. Is he a 9.5 or a 10? You know. Why? Because you're Mr. Bowling Shoe Giver Outer.
Couldn't bowl without you.
So crack open an ice cold Bud Light, mister, and know it's no accident those shoes are red, white, and blue.
No, we couldn't bowl without.
Bud Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri.
Now back to the biggest sports network on the planet, the Tony Bruno Sports Network.
Can I go on my way without you?
Yeah, baby, yeah. It's Friday afternoon, yo. You know what I'm saying? By the way, do you know who Wendell Pierce is, Luigi?
He's a great actor.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Well, he's been in
I
like
thought he was a. Never
he's
mind. No,
been
I
in
don't know who
so
it is.
many
Who is
many
Wendell Pierce?
movies. He's been in Death of a Salesman, The Wire, Raising Canaan, Selma.
Prince Onaj KZ, just really quick. What's the name of that courtroom movie? It is a fantastic movie. It is called My Cousin Vinny. You got to watch it.
Yes.
It's fantastic.
So anyway, if you watch Suits, Jack Ryan, or The Wire, you know who Wendell Pierce is. He gets pissed off as fast as possible. So he has now been cast in the latest version of the Superman movie. James Gunn is redoing Superman, and Perry White, who of course is the editor of the Daily Planet, is now going to be played by Wendell Pierce
That's
in the
awesome.
upcoming movie. And everybody's loving this because this guy's a great actor.
He's going to be fantastic.
He gets pissed faster than I do when Robin screws up every day.
That is hard to move.
I
That's hard
know.
to believe. Matt Raposa, sorry you're being summoned. Have a fantastic weekend.
Exactly right.
The Annihilator says, move along.
What does that mean?
I don't know. Oh,
Where are we going?
TC
Good, thank you.
Wiggum, I'm through with this guy.
Oh, I'm through. So that's the line in the movie. That's
Oh,
right.
okay.
Yeah. I didn't even know they were making it. Now, who's playing Superman? Do we know? Are they bringing back the guy who's been in the best Superman the
Sheryl
last
Crow
time?
at this point.
Sheryl
Probably
Crow?
Sheryl
No,
Crow
no,
at
no,
this
no,
point.
no. The English dude.
I know what you're talking about.
The guy that plays The
Henry
Witcher.
Cavill.
Henry
Henry
Cavill.
Cavill.
Henry Cavill.
Yes, I love him.
So wait a minute. So it's David Corenswet. Corenswet is starring as Clark Kent Superman.
What?
With Rachel Brosnahan playing the daily, and you know who Rachel Brosnahan is.
I know, I love Rachel Brosnahan, but they're putting
She's
somebody
playing
else
Lois Lane.
David, who is Cornsweat? David Cornsweat?
Is starring as Clark Kent / Superman. So it's not the guy you thought it was.
No.
It's another new guy who I haven't heard. Superman Legacy.
Well, remember, Superman itself, he's not the guy you thought he was anyway. So
Exactly.
It doesn't really matter.
And guess who else is in it? This guy's in everything. And he's a really good actor,
Samuel
but he
L.
looks like
Jackson.
he's 12 years old. Nicholas Hoult. You know who he is.
Oh,
Samuel L. Jackson.
He's playing Lex Luthor. Nicholas Hoult is a guy you see him. He looks like he's 15 years old, and he's been in a gazillion movies. He's great.
David Cornsweat.
Who's David Cornsweat?
He has a pretty chiseled chin. I guess he'll do.
Where's a picture of him? Do we have him?
Yep.
Is that how we judge talent these days?
No. I'm just saying that he has that same kind of chiseled jaw that all of the Supermen have had.
Well, yeah,
from
you can't
Christopher
have a round
Reeve on
face
down.
as Superman.
Yeah.
You can't be Superman walking into Planet Fitness saying I'm doing my best. What the fuck? Like, you gotta be in shape already.
Dude, what are they doing? What are they doing?
And he has. I mean, look, I can see.
Wendell Pierce is a great.
I can see him as Superman.
You can?
I can see him as
Is
Superman.
he a Brit? He's got blue eyes, though.
Don't they all?
I wanted to go back to where he's on wires and shit. I want him to go back into the phone booth and do that. Let's get back into the phone booth. We got to move out of this phone booth.
How about this, Tony? Mount Rushmore of phone booth scenes. Okay, you got to go Clark Kent getting changed into Superman.
Right.
You got to go Bill and Ted going back in time.
Yeah, that's a good one.
You got to go. I think you got to go what? Colin Farrell in that movie where he's in the phone booth the entire time. And
Isn't there a movie called Phone Booth or something?
Yeah, I think that was it. I think it was.
And in the entire movie, he's in the phone booth.
Really?
Yeah. In the yeah. And he's like, I'm going to kill this person if you don't do this. I'm going to kill this person. Yeah, right.
Are you sure that was Colin Farrell?
Yeah, it was Colin Farrell.
Are you sure? Let me check it out.
I'm 1,000%
Colin Farrell, phone booth. I did not see
phone
this movie.
Booth.
Phone booth. Is it 2002
what else?
American?
What else? What else happened in a phone booth in the history of cinema? That was worth it.
Now, in the movie, one of the great movies, which is about sick people, the movie that shot in Venice, where the guy goes nuts. He's an employee. He's got the guy's in the movie that I was a part of.
Oh, where he
Douglas, Michael Douglas.
Michael Douglas.
Remember where he goes nuts and he goes into the place
goes
and he
postal.
Yeah, he was in a phone booth too, wasn't he? In that scene where he calls his wife or somebody.
Yeah, I mean,
what was the name of that movie?
I don't know.
Now Maxwell Smart, Jack O'Donnell nailed it.
Yeah,
Maxwell Smart from you know what that TV show was, right?
Get Smart.
You're damn right. Not Marcus Smart.
Not Marcus Smart.
There was also a children's cartoon with a phone booth with Inspector Gadget. Wasn't he? Didn't he go into a phone booth too?
Yeah, but he didn't have to go into a phone booth because he would just say, "Go, go, Gadget, gigantic dong." And the gigantic dong would come out of his pants, and then his arms would go out and reach out and grab some biatch and pull him right into him.
Somehow I don't remember that episode.
It's like I can just imagine: Go, go, Gadget arms. Go, go, Gadget hat. Go, go, Gadget enormous dong.
Yeah, I missed that episode.
Robin, can you turn my
Wait. Joey B, breaking news. Another spy balloon off the Alaskan coast.
No!
CNN. Hold on.
It's a Friday night. Is this? I think Fridays they release balloons every Friday.
Because they know that the military isn't going to do anything over the weekend.
99 Love Balloons, which was one of the greatest songs ever recorded. Remember that?
Of course, and covered beautifully by so many people.
Exactly. The original one was the best, though.
58 minutes ago.
No doubt about it.
58 minutes ago.
Wait, this is breaking news,
CNN,
Robin. This is when you have breaking news, you can't just throw it out there.
Well, I'm trying to get your freaking attention.
Well, you turned my machine off again.
Good luck.
Son of a bitch.
I'm trying to get your attention. Good luck with that.
We're waiting.
I just hit it, Robin. Let's get a balloon update.
Let's go to your correspondent who's got balloons, who's got big balloons herself.
Yes.
Underdog went in the phone booth, too. That's right. There's no need to fear. Underdog is here.
Well, there ain't no dogs out. Well, there might be a few.
And man, loved all my dogs out there, bro.
Commercial fishermen off the coast of Alaska have found what officials are concerned could be another spy balloon and are bringing it to shore with them. 3 sources familiar with the matter told CNN. The FBI agents will meet the fishing
So the balloon was on the ground. It wasn't in the sky, right?
Yeah, apparently it came down, and so
we saw 2 balloons in our lagoon yesterday.
Yeah, but those were
Mylar, and somebody had a
Mylar
birthday party, and they got stuck in the weeds.
FBI agents will meet the fishing vessel when it comes to port.
How big were these damn balloons? Was it one balloon?
Which is expected to be sometime this weekend. The fishermen shared photographs of the object that law enforcement, upon encountering it.
Was it bigger than a breadbasket?
Well, it looks like it.
You have a picture?
No, they say that it looks like a weather balloon that fell into the ocean. Let's see.
Boy, Robin, your breaking news ability to make a story
I'm just
exciting.
opening up. Sorry.
Damn it. You can never be an anchor woman.
No, I could not. Especially not with you around.
You can't even put the anchor out on the boat when I say drop the anchor.
Oh, bullshit.
You know what I hear?
Bullshit.
I hear Tony as in from Ron Burgundy sitting there going, if Robin was ever getting ready to do the newscast, they're gonna put Veronica on. You can't. It's just and Robin's sitting there going, Tony's like, Robin, what do you want to do? And Robin goes, I've always had a dream of being a network anchor. And Tony's like, really? He's like, I thought that was a joke. I thought that was funny.
Oh yeah.
I wrote about it in my diary earlier in the day.
Okay, let's see if I have any pictures.
Other damn pictures?
Oh, well, I'm going to the New York Post because CNN, is
the New
bullshit.
York Port.
Post.
Oh.
Hello, Post.
Well, I don't think one news agency will get this exclusively. Does CNN have a place? Do they have
apparently these
headquarters in Alaska, in Anchorage?
These fishermen posted these photographs to their social media, and I am not seeing them yet.
I follow most of the fishermen out there. I haven't seen it. The Gorton's fisherman is my most reliable because he's up there, from Gorton's of Gloucester. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, here we go.
One thing about a fisherman, man, they always got a line. They always got a
Damn
line,
right.
every single one.
The best lines. Trust me. Believe me.
I like Stephen Wright where he says there's a fine line between fishing and standing on the shore like an idiot.
Exactly.
Think about it.
Who's calling your phone right now, Robin?
Guess.
Your mom? Your mother?
Yes.
Of course.
We just talked to her yesterday, and you told her we were on the air till 6 p.m.
I know.
Well, I'll say this about this program this week, Luigi.
What's that?
It happened 5 days. We gave you the full 5 days effort, and we are appropriately crashing and burning into a ball of not snakes, into a ball of drunks who luckily are not going to leave the premises and get in the vehicle. We went out and filled up the gas tank today, went over there to BJ's. We got some milk, butter, and eggs, and it's not even going to snow. And then we got some, what do you call them? We've got some, what's the raviolis, Robin?
It is
we got the
wine braised short ribs.
Wine braised short rib ravioli tonight.
Nice.
Now that's what I'm talking about. You know what I mean?
That's good. That's quality meal right there, buddy. That's
Damn
quality
right.
meal.
Damn right.
What else is going on? What's the weather like down there for the next couple
Beautiful,
days?
man.
You guys got good weather now.
It's been beautiful, man. Did you see the drone video of the property?
I did not. I saw it in person.
No. You did not get to hover over our property. And
it's like soaring over Southwest Florida. It's going to be a new attraction at Disney.
Freaking awesome.
I was I'm listening to Robin go, and I'm just listening and going, I didn't get to hover over what? I'm just like, where's she going with that?
No, Robin's brother Rex has this awesome. I mean, this thing's like 6 inches by 6 inches square, and that thing, he had it flying all over the place, man.
Officer Jack O'Donnell wants to know if he should bring his portable breathalyzer when he comes to Florida.
Don't bother. Just give them a ticket. They're drunk.
Oh, hold on. Actually, there's somebody.
You guys drive. Are you okay? Oh, no, you didn't drive. You didn't go anywhere.
We're not going anywhere.
We're not. We
Hello.
did our shopping today. We don't go out on Saturdays here. Saturdays are for the boys or something like that. I don't know what they are. What are Saturdays for?
Saturday?
Absolutely nothing.
Recovery. Fucking week.
No, I mean, go out tomorrow. Go down to the
I don't know,
beach.
man. I don't
Took a
got-
ride to
I
the
don't got
beach
the thing
yesterday, man. You got to go out and enjoy it. You don't know. Every day is a blessing, man.
We have like 2 minutes.
Who do we have? Who do we have on the line now? Do we have a balloon expert? Who's there, Robin? Like, hold on. You keep saying we only have a couple minutes.
Well, nobody can hear me. It's Larry. It is fantastic, Larry.
Larry from Port Richmond?
Yes, we're putting him on. I'm going to conference.
Oh, please. I haven't talked to Larry in forever.
I know, Larry. You go ahead.
Okay, well, Luigi, nice to hear you again, and you're not missing anything not hearing me. Nothing changes if nothing changes, as they say in rehab. But
I don't disagree at all.
okay, I just got a little complaint, not a complaint, but I got a point counterpoint. I think the best phone booth scenes were made by the Three Stooges. The one where Ship had to get married within a few hours and he's in the phone booth.
Oh, yeah. We can
And the
sit
one
here.
where they
Yeah,
beat
you're
the-
right. I mean, Luigi was looking for a Mount Rushmore, and I was thinking we're going to be hard-pressed to find 4. Now we've got like 10 of them already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one. I mean, the thing is, like, you have to go when you put the Mount Rushmore up there. You have to say, okay, you make your suggestion, right, Larry, and you go, okay, who would you take off to put on? That's the way it's.
Oh, I don't know.
You know, so
I'm worried about taking off.
That's a hell of a selection.
Yeah, well, I don't know who the hell I would take off.
We got a big assignment
Well,
already
Super
this
Tails had
weekend.
one.
Larry, we already have a big assignment. We have to figure out how much it would cost nowadays for the Stone Cold Steve Austin accoutrement and all the different sandwiches and beers and margaritas and Bloody Marys he would drink back when he would do that routine in the ring at WWE.
Yeah, I don't know how much it would cost for the operation after the heart attack from hardening the arteries there, from all that shit.
Yeah, but he would drink beer and he'd wash it down, and he worked out.
Oh, yeah,
so.
that works really well. That's exactly what the doctor recommends.
Yeah. No. I would have to lay off the beer because I can't do that shit anymore.
No,
you know
I can't
that.
either.
And,
Robin pumped me. I
yeah.
have one shot of tequila, and now I'm drunk. That's why I can't drink anymore. I can't drink.
Yeah. I know. I hope Robin's got a pillow or something so when you fall over, she can catch it.
I have 2.
I'm not going to fall over. I had one little, what is it called? Tequila drink.
Oh, God.
That's all I had.
It is.
And I didn't even want tequila. I'm not a big tequila guy. That's for sipping at the end of a big dinner, not when you're empty stomach, and then it makes you high right away. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But you didn't turn it down either, did you?
No, she brought it over. I didn't know what it was. But then she had the piece of the lime with a dirty label still on it. So now I'm worrying about getting AIDS, herpes, scurvy, skeevies. What else is out
That's
there?
the least of your worries.
That's the least of my worries.
Hey, guys, thank you so much. Luigi, we will talk to you next week. Thanks for checking in, Larry.
And Larry, it's always good to hear you, man.
Love you guys.
great weekend,
I'll be
everybody.
down in Florida in September, so maybe I could sneak on by.
That would be awesome.
Absolutely, brother. Anytime.
Okay, well, that's September. We'll talk about it some other time, you know.
We'll see you
I
in
know you're
September.
pressed for time, and I'm getting-
Sounds good.
Yeah.
All right, Larry, Louise, thanks. Everybody, have a great weekend. Be careful out there. Don't drink and drive. Don't do dope and drive. And God bless America. And don't text and drive either. Damn it. Have a great weekend. See you back here on Monday. Have a spectacular.
I know, we're done
It's
already.
first Friday. It's a new month.
BV Films going, we done already?
Yeah. We done.
Hard to believe.
We done. We gone. We ball.
Joey B, we need overtime.
I don't think I can play an extra period. All right, scored in overtime, and the game is over.
You're listening to Tony Bruno Sports Network. Tony didn't invent sports radio. He perfected it.
Can you say goodbye to everybody, Tony?
Goodbye, everybody, Tony.
No Filter. We are simulcasting on No Filter already, so that was it for the night. We determined this just really quick. This is just for the stream only because we are no longer live on TBSN. We have tried to do an extra show on Friday nights, and we were so exhausted that we realized it was to the detriment of our health. So we are simulcasting now. We are on No Filter and on all the rest of the streams at the same time, and we are trying to figure out how to make the combination even better so that we can all aggregate onto one.
Aggregate?
Yes, aggregate. Isn't that a good word?
Yeah, it's better than aggravate.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to do that.
So make sure that you like, follow, subscribe.
The inspiration behind every one of these
that
runs
would be
was
Tony
about
Bruno.
capturing
I know.
a
I didn't
feeling.
want to hear it. I just wanted to read a story. Okay.
This is why I have to have you muted
Then
sometimes.
turn it on. The show's over, Robin. I wanted to check a story, but they have a run. I don't even want to see the video. I just want to read the story. Okay.
So goodbye, folks. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend, and we will see you all next week.
This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy. And maybe in our world here, there lives a happy little mountain. This knife has a straight edge on it, so it's very easy.